Welcome in, everybody, to week 10 of our Sunday social start sit DFS betting show extravaganza at this point.
Yeah.
How's it going, everybody? With me here, as always, to start off the show is Dylan and Alan. Alan's here to talk his bets for us. But before we get into it, just make sure you guys, hit that like and subscribe button down below, and then hit the bell for notifications if you guys want to get notified when we get live for shows like this. I know we got shows during the week that go live as well, and then we have a lot of other content that gets recorded and then uploaded later throughout that week as well. So we got constant content coming out for you guys for you to check out. So make sure you guys hit that bell. And then don't forget to go to fantasysixpack.net/plans and go sign up for a subscription, guys. Here's the thing. I'm just be flat out honest. You could literally win your money back in just one fucking day with either listening to Al's top 3 bets of the week or going to the DFS side of it with Chris and Dave Eddy. I mean, they really do win your money back in a slate. It's kind of silly. Dylan can attest to it. But yes. And then the best part of it all is guys, it's week 10. We only got a couple more weeks before it's fantasy playoff season. You got these tough questions, get direct access to us over there in the Discord, because you can get customizable questions answered like that. You can annoy the shit out of Joe, which I love doing. But yeah, it's seriously, you get instant access to Alan here. You can talk to Dave, Chris Robbin, Detroit Beastie. There's just endless amount of people there. You can talk to Davis about best ball if you're thinking about even next year, looking into the crystal ball for the future. So go check it out, guys. It's really worth every penny, in my opinion. But that's enough about that. Dylan, Alan, let's get this shit going. It's week 10. Alan, top 3 bets of the week. What do you got? And I hope it's better than this Colts Patriots game.
Yeah, actually, I had the Colts in this game, so I'm liking what I see.
Good call.
Hell yeah.
But I was telling Dylan before, I was like, this is my flu game week, man. I am struggling over here. I was even looking at the game. My beard's patchy too, man. I have had a rough week. I did good yesterday in college football, so that makes me very scared for everything. But I like the Niners to cover the 3 today. We're as healthy as we've been, since week 3 or something like that. And we coming off a bye. We do pretty well when we travel to the East Coast. Probably one of the better spread covering teams from West Coast to East Coast in the league. Has a lot to do with how Kyle Shanahan kind of maps out things. Getting a bye week before we make that travel makes it even easier. So you can almost cap this as if the Niners are an East Coast team, essentially, because they've had a week to get acclimated. And if you're saying that we're an East Coast team, we're better than 3 points against the Jags. I don't care if they are at home. Now, I love Jacksonville. They're 6-2, and I get why the line is where it's at. But if you're telling me Debo's back and Trent's coming back, Debo's a huge part of that offense. Not even talking about adding in Chase Young, just in general, I think we were 3 points or more than Jacksonville anyway. So I'm going to lay my 3 with the visiting team in that game. Prop wise, picking at, the Commanders a little, mostly at their second day. I think DK Metcalf should have a good game today. I like DK to score at least once. So anytime is plus 140. I like him over 66 yards for receiving. I just think they haven't shown much ability to cover the big body wide receiver ones, honestly. And I feel like he's going to have a pretty good game. And then with T. Higgins being out, you got to go heavy on Chase Young, I would assume. 81.5 yards. They're going to feed him the ball. He's probably getting 14, 15 targets minimum. If you're telling me 80 yards, that's kind of – it's almost insulting. And if he doesn't get it, then please believe – follow me on Twitter. I will be on Zach Taylor's neck. I don't like Zach Taylor. I don't like Arthur Smith. And I'm trying to keep that from, getting too crazy. But they're 2 of the worst coaches when it comes to using their playmakers, which sounds crazy because the Bengals have a lot of playmakers. But Mixon's rushing yards is at like 40 or something like that. He's a better rusher than what
Really?
they do. But they don't use him right. I don't know why. They just can't run the ball for some reason. I think his reception yards is at like 20 or something like that. And I'm like, dude, he should be getting the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, with Higgins out, I would imagine he's going to get checked down to a lot.
Yep.
I think the Texans are going to do. I mean, you got to bring pressure against Burrow. You really can't do anything with dropping 8. Like, I know it frustrates them, but they don't have the personnel to cover that long. so I would assume they've got to bring pressure. And then I'm going to buy some stock in the Raiders again at +1. I think the team is still riding that high. And the Jets don't even know who their starting quarterback is or why he's their starting quarterback. So that makes me worried. I don't think it gets better for them. So I was gonna take the Raiders today too.
I like that call. And it's nice to hear you talking about you're feeling like DK is going to have a big game, man, because it's been bad. We talked about it on our show last night. Like, just to spin it in fantasy football purposes, he hasn't finished as a wide receiver to a top 24 guy since week 3 or 4. So this week is definitely a prime spot for him to have a good week and hit his anytime touchdown score, like you said, or hit over on his yards as well.
Yeah, and when you have a terrible game the week before in the NFL and you're an above average team, typically you see some kind of boost to people. So like they got their face beat in against Baltimore, and you would expect coming back to Seattle with this matchup. I know historically the Commanders have actually been good against the number there, so that's why I stayed away from betting the spread. But as far as like stats go, like this should be a shootout if all things are equal. And I like DK to just get off, man. Emmanuel Forbes is like my son's size. I keep saying that, and I said that when he got drafted. Like, I get what he did in Mississippi State and everything, but like that's why they have measurements, because sometimes it does play a factor into it, and you have to be special to overcome those physical gifts. And at his frame, he doesn't have special speed. He's not very strong, and he's not like anything crazy. Like Ayuk has the wingspan of a 7-footer. That's what makes him special, makes up for the fact that he's not the fastest receiver.
Sure.
But his catch radius is out of this world. Like Emmanuel Forbes don't have anything. Like when you look at his scouting report, there's nothing noted on there that makes him special. So God bless him, man. But like he can't cover DK and AJ, man. It's just it's never gonna happen.
These are grown ass men that he's going against now. It's not just it's not just other college folk. I agree for sure.
They're like my size running 4.4s.
That's funny. Mike, you got anything to add before we let Alan go?
No, I mean, I think he pretty much hit it on the head for the most part. Like, I really do think DK should have a game this week, and it's going to scare me if he doesn't for fantasy purposes moving forward.
Yeah. And it'd be worse. You could be holding the Bijan bag.
Ha! Don't remind me.
That's what it looks like. Bijan's that stock that everybody said was gonna bust any day now. I'm gonna call him Wall Street bet Bijan, man, because it ain't never popping off.
I'm gonna beat it with like a dead horse. So they were playing the Cardinals this week. Come on, Arthur Smith, get Bijan more involved.
Hey, look, I guarantee you after the game, after the Cardinals win, he'll have some grand excuses to why, it's, if you understand these things, and if you know the process of how everything goes.
I hate those press conferences.
Yeah, they're the worst. It's so insulting.
Last time he said Tyler Algier is one of the best short yardage backs in the league. What is he going to come out with now? Is he one of the best receiving backs in the league now, and this is why he's getting all the targets? And
the crazy part about that is Bijan's better at the attributes that he was saying Algier had. Like, do you know your team? That just makes it even worse.
It doesn't seem like he knows his team.
But hey, his dad's worth like $6 billion. So I guess you can't fire him because then he'll own the team. So
I don't know, man. You think Arthur Blank would sell the team after he just saw Arthur Smith running it?
I don't think he has any choice. If he, like, we're talking FedEx, man. Like, FedEx is the man behind the curtain in the NFL. Like, that's why Daniel Snyder stayed in power so long, man. You can't undercut FedEx, man. Like once I saw that, I was like, it all makes sense now. You know what? I'm not even mad at you, Arthur. Like I get it. This is literally your livelihood at stake. You got to let this idiot go.
That's funny as hell. That's funny, Alan. Man, we appreciate you joining us every Sunday for this because not only do you give us some solid bets, you make us laugh.
Yeah, man. Good luck to everybody, man. And hopefully on Monday I'll be back and moving again.
Absolutely. Did you have anything else you wanted to plug maybe before we let you go?
No, I'm just the same old. Just follow me on Twitter. I'm doing okay on my NBA props. Even when I'm sick, I still get those out. I don't do NBA props on Sunday because I'm so focused on NFL.
Sure.
But I'll be back on Monday. I had a pretty good 14 play last week on one of my NBA podcasts I do. Me and the guy, we do 2 plays a piece. And we do like 2 West Coast plays, 2 East Coast plays, and we hit a 4-teamer. So that was good. So be on the lookout for that kind of stuff.
All right, yeah, go check that out, guys, if you're into NBA parlays and bets and all that. But, Alan, good luck in your prop bets or your top 3 bets for the week. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it, Alan. Thank you.
Peace. All right, and then so Joe needed to take a week off this week, so we brought in our secondary guy here. He's the other one we like to pick apart his rankings because – let's be honest, it's just fun because he's our friend. Ike, how's it going, man?
Hey.
Oh, I give you an entrance, and that's what you give me?
What were you drinking in that coffee mug? Because I know it ain't coffee.
Hot chocolate.
Right on, interesting.
That's the drink of an adult right there.
It's actually Yellowstone. It's a Yellowstone cup.
Nice. Chilly morning, I get it.
And windy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What better way to start it than hot chocolate?
Weird.
All right, Ike, let's dive into these rankings, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you're definitely a little bit more spicy than Joe here when it comes to the rankings. And start with the quarterback position. We got Jared Goff, who is ECR quarterback 6. And when I say ECR, that's the 5 guys on our website. So Jared Goff, ECR. Quarterback 6. Ike, you have him as QB9 in a pretty good matchup, I feel like, in the Chargers. We might have talked about Goff the last time you were on here, and I'm pretty sure you hit it on the head.
I did. Yeah, I did actually. But
so, how do you feel about him this week?
He's on the road, so he's struggled on the road. He's averaging 16.5 fantasy points per game, which is nowhere near top 12. But his one game on the road was 22.4, and that was 3 weeks ago, I think, or something like that. But still, past 2 weeks he's been struggling. Granted, it's been decent matchups for him, but yeah, there's just some guys I like over him.
Yeah, and that's fair. Just looking at your rankings now, you have the likes of
Dak should be ahead of him.
CJ Stroud. You have it, CJ Stroud, with him being on the road this week, surprised me. You have CJ Stroud.
I just think that one's going to be a shootout more than this one.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair, and I get that. And then you have like Herbert, Lamar, Dak. So not too many surprises ahead of him. Well, Geno, quarterback 6 this week, but the matchup against Washington is
Washington's
really nice.
That's high for Geno. Damn.
Yeah, Ike's feeling
would that
it.
Be? Would that? I feel like that would be his best finish of the year at QB6 so far, or has he finished top 5? Before missed field goal.
Yeah, it was from like 60. It was right on line too. It was short.
No,
might have even been further than that. I think it's only -1 though, right? Because it was so long. But looking at the running back side of things, Josh Jacobs, ECR, running back 8. Ike, you are down on him this week a little bit against the Jets, having him as RB12, a borderline RB1 this week. What's your thoughts on Josh Jacobs?
So usually every week I have 1 or 2 players where I probably rank lower than I should. And this is probably Jacobs. I didn't realize the Jets have been getting worked by running backs lately. Like they're giving up the 5th or 6th most points to running backs. I didn't realize that until after I had him ranked already. So I'd probably bring him up a little bit more, but still, I just don't trust this offense very much, especially with Aiden O'Connell. How often do you think he's going to get 2 touchdowns in a game? You can expect the touches, though.
Yep. Yeah. I I feel like Josh Jacobs could have a big week this week because of they're gonna. If they want any chance of winning this game, they're going to need to do it on the ground, man. You can't trust Aiden O'Connell against this Jets secondary.
That's probably why he ran 27 times last week.
Agreed. Yeah, so as long as Jacobs is healthy, I think he's going to get an extreme amount of volume with the rookie at the helm of that offense. The next guy here, we got Kenneth Walker, running back from the Seattle Seahawks, RB14 ECR IQ. Have him as RB19 against the Commanders. Another guy you're down on this week. Is it Zach Charbonnet get more involved, or what are you thinking here?
I think it's just because I have him, but go on.
Kenneth Walker, granted, he did get banged up a couple weeks ago, but since that, he's under 50% snaps in back-to-back games. He's been out-snapped by Zach Charbonnet in both of those. He's a non-threat in the receiving game, 4 targets in the past 2 games. Literally non-threat. You can wipe that away. He's also had under 10 carries in both of those games, which not good. If you're not getting targets and you're not getting 10 carries, you should not be ranked as an RB2. And I'm just being generous with an RB19.
Yeah, I hear you there. I'm a little bit worried about Kenneth Walker too. 19 is definitely low with the way running backs have been producing this year, but I definitely get it. You want to be.
I like Jameer way more than this week. Same with Dave Montgomery.
I see, like and I'll just make it brief. I get the.
I'd rather have Javonte Williams too.
I get the hesitation with him because, like, you just rattled off those stats, like non-factor in the passing game. The snaps have been going down, with the injury coming back and all that. But
it went from 43 to 49 last week, so maybe once he starts getting healthier, it's gonna get back up. But don't expect the 75 to 80% snaps again.
Yeah, I just feel like, in my opinion, maybe 19 is just a little bit of an maybe more like in like the 16 range type of deal. Maybe not much of an increase.
Who do I have ahead of him right now other than Jameer, David Montgomery, Javonte? I know I do.
Yeah, like that's my only nitpick, though. That's my only nitpick.
Aaron Jones.
Only guy who'll do anything in the Packers offense.
Rashad White, Javonte, Ramondre.
You can't argue with Javonte or Rashad White.
You have Ramondre over him, though.
Yes, and Ramondre, because he did have past few games really good. Granted, one of them was a 70-yard touchdown run, which boosted him big time. But right now, he's not looking good for me. It's not looking good.
They're trying to get him the ball. The first couple of drives of the game, they threw him a couple screen passes. So I get the process with having Ramondre there. He's just hoping he finds the end zone. And then you got Zeke looking good today too, which
Colts defense is looking better now.
Well,
they were being
running backs kind of suck.
No, they've sacked Mac Jones like 5 times already, man. And they're rushing 4 guys, and like what Alan said earlier, how are you allowing 4 guys to get to Mac Jones when you're in max protect? How's this happening?
I don't think that going on Germany time all week really is helping them out.
No, it does not look like it. Looking at the wide receivers, like, let's talk about a guy that you like this week. You like him a lot. You got Terry McLaurin, ECR wide receiver 14. You have him as a wide receiver 1 this week. Top 12 guy, wide receiver 11 against the Seahawks. Digging him, huh?
Even with Jahan Dotson doing what he's been doing past 3 games, McLaurin has still been wide receiver 13, so he's still getting his targets, which is actually, I think it's 10 per game right now. Yeah, 10, and which is 9th in the league in the past 4 games. And during that time, he's wide receiver 11. So he's been a top 12 wide receiver for the past 4 games.
Man, oh man, is it good to see him finally doing it? Because this is a guy that we wanted to have a quarterback that would push the ball downfield to him. Remember, we'd all jump for joy with Taylor Heineke whenever he got the chance to start. And Sam Howell's like a juiced up version of Taylor Heineke, I feel. Just a little.
And if you're going to throw that much, you got to play the guys on that team.
Agreed. Yep. I also like Terry McLaurin this week, Ike, and I like that you have him that high in your rankings. The next guy, this one's interesting one because it wasn't too long ago where we were talking about George Pickens. You'd rather have him in this offense
than
Deontay Johnson, and now he shut a lot of people up. Johnson just comes back and just sees a ton of targets, like ECR wide receiver 21 this week on our site. You have him as wide receiver 17. You love him this week, huh?
Oh, yeah. First off, I don't know if I'm correct on this. Jair is out or no? Does anybody know that?
I don't have
Mike
it.
LaPlant's
He's
muted. He's probably talking.
Muted, yeah. Yep. Once
I don't know. Well,
Okay,
no, I just don't know.
Last I
like,
saw, I'm pretty sure it was doubtful. But
yeah, we get inactives in about a half an hour. So
with no Jair, I like it even more. But since coming back from his injury, Deontay is averaging 17.1 fantasy points per game. He's wide receiver 6 during this time, and he's 10th in targets. So, I mean, he's getting the ball. He's scoring touchdowns now finally, which that's the only thing that was keeping him from being this good before. So he's back, man.
You can't say touchdowns.
Touchdown. Hey, boost him to wide receiver 6 through, was it 3 or 4 games now? He's been back.
Yeah.
It's like I always say.
Made Pickens irrelevant.
Your touchdowns are your ceiling, and then your volume is your floor.
Yeah. To be fair, it's not easy for him to catch a touchdown when Kenny Pickett only throws maybe one a game. So it's
and it's in the fourth quarter. And yes, Jair Alexander was listed as doubtful.
Right on. So not looking good for Jair, but looking good for Deontay Johnson. Last guy here is tight ends. Everybody loves talking about this guy, Ike, so I'll just throw him at you. Taysom Hill, ECR tight end 9 on site. Ike has him as a top 5 guy this week.
Got to roll with the trend. He's been top 6 or better tight end since he's been getting this weird workload he's been getting where he's throwing a couple passes. He's running 5 to 10 times, and he's getting about 5-ish targets. You're getting 10 plus targets or touches from a tight end spot, that shouldn't be real. It's weird. And the only guy really doing that is Travis Kelce, but he's gone off in Argentina right now, so that's not happening. So Taysom Hill has a real chance of being a top 3 this week and maybe even higher.
I said it on the last night's show, man. He's red zone daddy. Yeah. That offense runs through him on the red zone. Just bring him as the quarterback.
Because he can sling the ball. All it takes is one 60-yard bomb to Olave. There you go. You're tight end 2 no matter what.
It's hard to. It's like I just look at it and I look at Alvin Kamara because a couple years ago he got 6 touchdowns in a game. That's red zone daddy. Not Taysom Hill.
I don't know, man. It just runs through Taysom just more so than it does Alvin Kamara down there. You know,
it
makes sense. It definitely hurts Derek Carr.
It hurts the whole offense
for sure.
It hurts Kamara. It hurts Olave. It hurts Carr. I mean, Taysom's the only one benefiting out of it. That selfish prick. I'm just kidding.
That's all right, man. He's a one of a kind player, so it's nice to.
It's
cool to see someone like that. To be honest,
he's got
Michael Thomas doing some things. Has he been ruled out yet today, or is he?
He probably should be.
I have not seen him been officially ruled out, but I will say this. Did you guys ever see the quote about Taysom Hill? I don't know if it was true or not, but he was talking about Zach Wilson. He goes, I really hope Zach Wilson figures it out because quarterback's my 3rd position, and I figured it out.
I hope that's true. That's fantastic.
Because I'm just like, wow, Taysom, wow.
But dude, Jets would be actually killing it with Taysom probably at quarterback.
You think so?
Just do a weird running type thing with him and Brees.
Yep. Tim Tebow offense and rely on that defense. There you go, man. Tim Tebow worked good. But what do you guys say we hop in the meat of the show now? You want me to pull him up and you read him again, Mike, or you want to change it up this week? What are you thinking?
I can pull him up this time. All right. So, did you already? Oh, you already pulled it up. So I'll read this one, then we'll switch it off. Clayton says he needs 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 1 flex. We have options of Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, James Cook for our running backs. Let's start there first. Pick 2 out of Eckler, Henry, and Cook, and I think it's pretty obvious.
Eckler and Derrick.
Yep. I think that one's a clean sweep there, Clayton. Don't overthink that one. And then for the wide receivers, we got Metcalf, Ayuk, Shaheed, and Tank Dell. Ooh, Tank Dell in there is a nice one.
You're starting 3. I think Shaheed's the odd man out. Maybe he catches the long touchdown to make us look like jackasses. Maybe it's from Taysom Hill, in fact. But I think he's the odd man out. I think you go DK, who we heard Alan talk about at the start of the show. A really good matchup. Expects him to hit over on his receiving yards and might see an anytime touchdown from him. Brandon Ayuk also locked in for me. And then Tank Dell. I saw him on
Nico Collins rolled out too.
Mike
Mhm.
LaPlant, where do you think Tank Dell is ranked in ECR on our website right now? Just take a guess. I know you're not
In
looking at it, just
ECR,
guess.
in ECR on our website.
I know where I have
Yep.
him ranked. I'm like,
I'd probably. I mean, he's probably sitting around where Nico was probably sitting at, probably in like the 18 to like 22 range, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
decent guess. Wide receiver 16 on site. And
Whoa.
you know who? Keith Lott has him as wide receiver 6, and Joe
Wha-
has him as
God damn.
Joe has him as wide receiver 10. So I'm guessing projections really, really like
good God.
Tank
I
Dell
thought I
this
was
week.
putting him high at like wide receiver. What is it? 18 I have him at maybe?
19, I want to say.
19. I'm like, Jesus, this is high, but no, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy
Wide
right
receiver
there
6,
without
damn,
Nico.
bro.
Yeah, that's a little high, but yeah, you're sitting Shaheed in this one and Cook Clayton.
Yep.
Hopefully that helps because that was actually, I mean, first question, and we actually kind of clean swept that one. That one doesn't happen often. All right, Dylan, you want to read this one?
We got Gus Bus taking on the Browns. Tough matchup for him. Or we got Kelvin Ridley taking on the 49ers. Full point PPR. Gus is really touchdown dependent right now. What are your guys' thoughts here? Ike, you're the guest. We'll let you start.
I'm going Ridley. 49ers can be beat through the air for some reason now. So I like that more than Gus versus the Browns. Browns defense is really good, man.
Go ahead, Mike.
It's not fun either way, Brian, unfortunately. Ridley hasn't been great, but you can throw on the 49ers. Trevor Lawrence hopefully can see some positive regression in the touchdown area for him, where Gus Bus is probably going to be seeing some touchdown regression in the opposite way because of how many touchdowns he's gotten recently. And, I mean, they just paid Lamar Jackson, so I feel like they're going to be passing
Ian
the
Mitchell's
ball more.
emerging.
Yeah, Keaton Mitchell's emerging as well.
Justice
we
Hill's
don't
out
know
snapping him.
we don't know how that snap share is going to shake out. I mean, 2 weeks, there's been nothing consistent besides Gus just getting red zone attempts. And if they're going to be playing the Browns, there's probably not a lot of red zone attempts to be had. So
Yeah.
I would go Ridley, but it's not fun, man.
Agreed. Yeah, I go Ridley as well. Definitely.
If it
Do
was
not
half
love
PPR, I think I would go Gus on that one. But just because it's PPR, you get that half extra point for the catches, and San Fran, like we said, can be thrown on.
Yep.
You might get a clean sweep on this one too.
One
Yeah,
from
this
Gary
one-
here. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Schultz, Boyd, or Singletary. Pick one, and this is PPR for everybody who's watching that don't
Boyd.
know.
Tyler Boyd.
Yes.
Yep. Love
Yeah,
Tyler
T.
Boyd
Higgins
without
out.
T. Higgins.
Performs pretty
Yep.
well when T. Higgins is out usually.
And yeah, I mean, you play Boyd whenever Higgins or Chase is out. Let's be honest.
Chase might be out too, so for sure, yeah, Boyd, yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
that was what I was gonna say. He's expected to play. It's just the workload is on the fringe. They don't.
Well, he's gone.
Yeah, he's struggling there. So I'll start reading the questions. I can start with you while he figures his stuff out. From Shane, we got down bad. I think a lot of us are down bad this week, Shane, with bye weeks and injuries. He wants to know Shakir, Brandon Powell. Wow, Brandon Powell with Osborne out and TJ Hawkinson injured.
This is down bad.
Well,
I will say Shakir because Diggs also has a back injury, but he's playing, but he might be on a snap count. So Shakir is a guy that can get more snaps possibly.
I agree. I think I lean Khalif Shakir as well. Just lean on the better quarterback here. I know we love Josh Dobbs. We talked about him last night, but I still lead with Josh Allen and give me Shakir in this matchup as well. Mike, how you feel?
I actually lean Powell in this one. You got TJ Hawkinson banged up a little bit. He's expected to play. Dobbs is a boost for the offense, and Shakir's like what, the third, fourth option on that offense, where Powell's probably like the second, third. So I actually lean Powell a little bit more. Just the volume favors him just a smidge more.
Yeah, that's totally fair. First one from Dion here. Good morning, Dion. Carr, Mayfield, Levis, Heineke, need one. We'll just start there. Carr, Mayfield, Levis, Heineke.
Levis has
a really good matchup, but I'm going Mayfield.
Mm-hmm. You go Mayfield
Mayfield's
in
been
the
good.
opposite end of that matchup. Yeah, because he plays Mayfield. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's where I lean as well. Good matchup. Tennessee can be beat up through the air.
Could be a weird shootout.
Yeah, I'm not quite sold on Will Levis. I like him for DeAndre Hopkins and stuff, but I'm not sure how I feel about him as a fantasy commodity with him not running. Obviously, Baker doesn't run at all either, but like his weapons a little more. Baker's been solid this year. I think that's where I lean as well.
I don't like it. Yeah, Baker's technically safer than the rookie Levis. Levis has a higher ceiling, though, so if you feel like you're going to lose, play Levis, but if you want to play it safe, go Mayfield.
Yeah, no doubt. Gary, I haven't seen what the game total is for that game, but yeah, you're probably right.
More
but,
to that question.
Well,
oh, yeah,
I was going to say, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, Christian Kirk, Drake London, need 2 and 1 flex.
All right. This one, it's an easy Evans
Kirk.
play.
Evans, Ayuk, and Christian Kirk for me.
Yeah,
it's an easy Evans, Kirk, and then
Ayuk.
Yeah, well, Debo's back, so I question just a little bit of
that doesn't matter.
It's just a little bit is all I'm saying, but it's not enough to bench Ayuk. You still play Ayuk, and then kickers: Dustin Hopkins or what the hell's his Myers for the Seahawks?
Jason Myers.
Jason Myers, thank you.
Who's Hopkins for?
That's Browns. Dustin Hopkins.
Give me.
I'm going.
We talked about it raining in Seattle yesterday.
I'm going Hopkins.
So,
it's gonna be a field goal type of game there.
Give me Johnny Hopkins.
Yeah,
with the defenses battling out there.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You're gonna like this one better.
Flex question we got from Malcolm. Jerome Ford, James Cook, Taysom Hill in the flex. Probably Jerome Ford. Definitely.
Jerome Ford.
Against Baltimore is tough.
Sucks.
It's still the volume play. Jerome Ford's still the volume play. The ceiling play in this one is Taysom Hill, though. If that makes you feel better.
Yeah, if you want to be safe, do Jerome Ford. If you want to shoot for the stars, go Taysom Hill.
James Cook is just
Yeah,
just not much to get excited about James Cook right now, but
no.
Maybe he gives you 8 to 12 points, but yeah, I think the other guys are. Oh, Gardner just got picked. That's not ideal. Next one from Dion. Flex 1. Deontay Johnson, Michael Thomas throwing bricks at cars, or somebody's head, or Tyler Boyd.
I'm going Deontay.
It's close because of the injury to Higgins, because Boyd gets that big uptick, and he's basically
Boyd still doesn't see 10 targets a game.
He's basically a wide receiver too, but Deontay Johnson's a more higher upside wide receiver too because of the 10 plus targets a game. Like, the only reason he's not a wide receiver 1 is because he's on that shitty offense where they get 1 touchdown a game.
Yeah, just the volume Deontay's seeing. I'm gonna lean that way there.
Yeah, super safe.
And no Jair possibly, so.
Yep. Morning, Albert. Good to see you here with us.
Appreciate you here joining us like always, Albert.
Got Kyler Murray or Trevor Lawrence here. I think that one's still Trevor Lawrence. Kyler, show it to me. Show me that you can move. Show me that you could get out of the pocket, because guys, that's where he excels. Obviously, he's on the shorter end of things. I don't know if you guys realize this, so he needs to move a little bit or find those throwing windows. So get outside.
I'll go T-Law. I'm going T-Law.
Kyler, you got to show me 1 week that you can get outside the pocket to start.
This isn't fair. I'm a T-Law owner, and I don't want to say T-Law, but it is T-Law because I agree with you. Everything you said, I want to see it from Kyler first. Scrambling is his best ability, and if he can't scramble efficiently, it's not going to be a good day at the office.
Yep. The tight end portion of this one, we got Fergie Ferg or Trey McBride.
With that said, I would still, with what we said about Kyler, I'd be playing McBride over Ferguson here.
How much are they going to need to? Yeah, how much are they going to need to lean on Jake Ferguson?
Yeah, I'll go McBride too.
I think
it's going to be a Pollard game.
But the next part of his question is James Conner, and I want to start James Conner. You also want to start Trey McBride in the same game. Next one, pick 2 here: James Conner, Rashad White, Garrett Wilson. He started Foreman over Connor. good call there on that one, man. Because Forber was good. I want to say like 17 fantasy points or
Yeah,
something.
he got the tutty.
And have ETN in RB1 spot. Yeah, definitely starting ETN.
Rashad White, I would also start.
Pick
You're
two
starting
here.
White
You
and Garrett.
only got to pick two. So
Rashad
we're
and
sitting.
Connor. Even though Garrett's getting 12 plus targets a game, I'd still like Connor White.
I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson, and I'm gonna go James Conner.
Oh,
I still go Garrett Wilson. I mean, not Garrett Wilson, Rashad White and Connor on this one. I know it's two players from the Cardinals, but I mean, we're getting Kyler back, which even if he is not great at scrambling, it's still better than Dobbs, we assume.
Yep. Next one from Dion, we got Michael Thomas or Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, Michael Thomas. I'm good. Been good on him all season, even though he has produced
for the past
at times,
3 years, pretty much.
Yeah, this week, not great stuff.
Such a hater.
Need flex help. James Conner or Jalen Warren in a 16-point half PPR league. Yeah, I agree. That surprises me that he has that much depth. I'm leaning James Conner, though.
Yep. James Conner it is. That one. Start your stud.
Yeah. And we still expect James Conner to just walk right into that workload. I know there's no D Mercado. Dr. Mercado, he's out once again. Yep. Maybe Ingram sees a little bit of work, but I don't think so, Tim. We've seen this time and time again that this is James Conner's backfield when he is healthy. Next one, Alexander Madison with no Cam Akers or Drake London full PPR flex, guys. Where are we going here?
I'm going Madison.
Yeah, I still lean Madison in this one. Viking. Well, yeah, I still lean. I don't trust Arthur Smith, and I never will. Alexander Madison for this one.
Did anybody get an update on Ramondre being dinged up or something?
I have.
Why is he not playing?
It's Zeke that's in the first snap of the first drive of the second half.
Welcome to the life of Patriots running back owner.
Yeah, that's not ideal, and I didn't get an update, so
nothing.
I haven't
what
seen.
What you thinking about here, Bill?
There's no update. Apparently this is random. Bucks announced that receiver Chris Godwin is dealing with an illness today, but is expected to play.
Sicky. Oh, Ramondre's back in. All right, I'm just overthinking things. But I actually lean Drake London. Taylor Heineke at the helm. Drake London fully practiced the last few days at least. So yeah, give me Drake London. I'm a fan. I'm just not a believer in Alexander Madison's talent, guys. We've seen it time and time again this year. He's getting a full workload, and he's just kind of stinks.
Yeah, but he's got 34 targets on the year. Like, he's a running back that's involved in the passing game, and everyone thought Cam Akers was going to take the job, and Cam Akers is now out for the year with an Achilles injury. You know, like, prayers to him. But yeah, prayers to him. He can't get anything right at the moment. But Alexander Madison's the guy, so it's pretty much him and him alone. So volume based play.
Yeah. Until Ty Chandler gets 5 targets in the passing game this
They
week.
don't want to get Chandler. There's a reason they went and traded for Cam Akers.
Yeah, that's fair too. From DI, we got Cortland Sutton, Michael Thomas, Joshy Reynolds, Tyler Boyd, 1 wide receiver, and 1 flex.
It's between Sutton and Boyd. And since it's 2, I didn't read that. It's Sutton and Boyd.
Reading is key. It's not as important as talking on a podcast or a live stream, but it's definitely second.
I can't believe I've seen so much Michael Thomas on here. It's just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It's because he's been consistent, man. Like, especially in a week where
he got arrested.
Yeah, but you have these teams on bye, and the dude's gotten 8 to 10 points pretty much every week. Like,
what is he gonna come from Folsom Prison and come play for the Saints now?
Coming in with his oranges
seeing
on.
Stranger Things. Seeing Stranger Things.
All right, Clayton wants to know if you got some Baileys in that hot chocolate.
I wish.
Or are you just going dry, man? Going dry?
I wish.
I like it. New name we got here. Nice to see you. Halfway PPR. Looking to start 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 1 flex. Alexander Madison, Brian Robinson, Bijan Robinson, Tank Dell, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett. We're starting 4 here, guys. Looks like there is 6. So sitting 2. I'm sitting
2 has to be a running back. 2 of them has to be a running back.
Two have to be a running back, and we got 3 options. So let's just start there first. Narrow it down. Madison, Brian Robinson, and Bijan. Who's the 2 you starting there?
Bijan.
Give me Madison.
Yeah. Yep.
I like the Madison matchup slightly over the Brian Robinson against the Seahawks.
That is for me as well. Bijan and Madison for the running backs, and then we got one wide receiver to choose from here.
And
Right.
or we could throw Brian
Well-
Robinson in the flex as well.
Well, let's just choose the wide receiver first. That way we get all of our options of what we selected out, and then we have our pool of our flex players we can choose from. So pick one wide receiver first.
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell, I guess, and
Yeah.
since everyone's so high on him.
Yeah, it's Tank Dell, top 20 guy this week. Everyone on our site is all about it. So let's lean on that, and that's where I'm
Tank
gonna go.
Dell. Yep, Tank Dell is your wide receiver.
Did he
one,
miss?
and then
That kick was from like 28 yards, 32
all right,
yards or something.
just so we're clear. We all thought Thursday was a shitty game. Thursday had more scoring in the first half in their game than this game has right now. So
Oh yeah, all these games are like Sunday night games. I'm pretty sure it's
Oh,
like
we weren't done.
yeah. So Tank Dell's the one wide receiver. So our flex pool is
going
Brian
Lockett.
Robinson, Godwin, and Lockett.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lockett here with
I get
Godwin Sicky. So I think
Yeah.
that makes the most point.
I lean Lockett because he's my silly string pick. He's going to go over 10.97. I'm going to speak it into existence.
Impossible. That means you might want to look elsewhere. Mike spent silly string 3 times already. So
Not in the past 3 weeks, though.
from Dion here, we got Brock Purdy or Deshaun Watson. And Alan did say, Ike, I know you're talking about Trent Williams on the show yesterday. Looks like Trent Williams should be back in the lineup. Hopefully.
He is. Yeah, he's expected to play.
I'm going Brock.
I will take Brock as well over Deshaun. Not a good matchup for Deshaun against the Ravens. AFC North divisional game. And guys, what happens every time 2 AFC North teams go at one another? It's
Defense.
ugly game of defense. Yeah.
Watson's
absolutely.
Watson's one of those quarterbacks that have a really tough matchup against the Ravens. Number 1 against QBs. Like the best finish against the Ravens this year was Josh Dobbs as a QB 8. Outside of that, they have not allowed a better finish than QB 18, and that was to Kenny Pickett. So
might have been the best stat you've ever thrown out on a show. I like
it. I don't believe it because I throw out many stats.
That might have just been the one I was listening to you on.
That's fair. Just like you said, speaking and reading is good. So that's key. There's your trifecta. That's your trifecta right there.
Right
but Purdy's a solid streaming option. Maybe not the best streaming option right now, in my opinion. That's Howell. But Purdy's a solid streaming option to play over Watson this week because you're probably not going to get better than a top 18 finish.
And then we got Gabe Dave, Tyler Boyd, Michael Thomas. Need one wide receiver, need one flex. We're going to go Gabe Davis. We're going to go Tyler Boyd for that.
Yep.
So much Michael Thomas. You are right.
Next one, Jordan Addison, George Pickens, Drake London, Jerome Ford. Need one wide receiver and need one flex.
All right, so Addison, Pickens, London. Who you choosing out of that one? That one's Addison for me.
Is Josh Dobbs better?
He scored 31 straight points.
Than Heineke.
Yes.
Taylor Heineke.
At this point, yes.
I would have to agree with LaPlant. I'm going to go Addison.
It's close between Addison and London, though. It is, but
Give me London here.
If Addison had Jaron Hall throwing him the ball,
but that's who. So you're playing both of them because he needs one in the flex. So
yeah, I would, and I like to play the wide receiver over the running back in the flex, and we're going with PPR scoring here since he didn't specify. So give me the 2 wide receivers.
I'm the opposite. I'd be playing Ford over London
against Baltimore, huh?
Fair enough.
Yeah, we just said they're the best against QBs, so they got to get the offense going somewhere. If it's not the QB,
Drew kicks.
Dustin Hopkins. Let's go. Joe Mixon, James Cook, Najee.
Oh,
Easy.
God.
Mixon.
That's Mixon.
Yeah, Mixon for sure. Give the man the ball, especially with Jamar Chase banged up. You got
but he's got Boyd too, though. That's what makes this even tougher for the next one.
And then we got Flowers, Boyd, Myers. Need one and need a flex. I think you're still rolling
Boyd.
Flowers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're going, but we also need to give a flex here.
It's Boyd and Flowers.
Your flex is Flowers. Ooh, man! And
over Najee and Myers. Yeah,
against the Browns,
Jacoby's got.
You can run on the
Man.
Packers. You can run on the Packers. We know this.
Yeah, but can Najee run?
Yeah, we saw it. I mean, it's just he can't run fast. He can't run fast, but he can run. I mean, David Montgomery, can he run fast? He's a plotter, and he plots all over the Green Bay Packers. So give me Najee as the flex play here, Dion.
Gross.
Wouldn't be surprised if he gets a touchdown. I mean, you running backs score touchdowns against the Packers. You know this.
What's up, Dame? Need a flex. I have Aaron Jones, Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, Jerome Ford, Kyle Pitts, or Cade Otton. Need one for tight end as well. That one's Kyle Pitts there. I still lean him over Otton.
Yeah. Go the wide receiver for next. He's got Amari Cooper's and Zay Flowers.
I'd go Aaron Jones.
He just needs a flex out of those guys, fella.
Oh, I read it wrong. Yeah, reading is great.
What is that reading again?
Well, I was reading the WRT, and I was like, he needs a wide receiver, he needs one running back, and he needs one tight end. You know,
guys,
what I mean?
Let's just get out of that game, right, and just play Aaron Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, you're playing Aaron Jones in this one out of those options. Yeah, and that's it. He just needs one flex. Aaron Jones, lock it and forget it.
From John Polk, LaPlant's buddy here, we got Michael Thomas, Jahan.
What's up, John? Dotson. Yeah, hey, John, that's Dotson. And also, man, congratulations. I know you and Bree are expecting your baby here soon. So,
cool, man. Congrats. Yeah, nothing better than that. That's great to hear.
Absolutely.
Man. That's sweet. That is cool. But, yep, clean sweep on Jahad Dotson. Another one from Dion. We got Will Levis, Baker Mayfield, Josh Dobbs, Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell.
I am. How?
I'm just worried about him, man. I talked about it last night. Going out west in Seattle as a young quarterback worries me.
He just throws a lot, so you have to go with that.
He throws a lot. Yep.
Give me Baker.
He's got he's got 300-yard passing games. There's only three quarterbacks that have more than that, and the ones that do have 300-yard passing games include Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts too as well. So
yeah.
Give me Sam Howell. He's throwing the ball a lot, and the only QB with more passing yards on the year than him so far.
We like all of his receivers this week, so we should probably like the quarterback.
Yeah, but it's Howell.
From Nathan, good morning. Please pick one to start between Mixon, Breece Hall, James Cook Standard League. I'm already planning on starting Monty and Eckler.
Mixon has a better shot again in the end zone. Since it's Standard League, I'd probably
Breece Hall's playing the Jets. Breece Hall's playing the Raiders, right?
Yes.
Give me all the Breece Hall.
That Jets offense is so bad, though, man.
That Raiders front is so bad, though.
Yeah, but that Raiders defense the Raiders defense looked really good with Antonio Pierce. Like, Max Crosby was an animal last week.
And he's smoking backwoods and shit after the game.
Like, I mean, I know it's just one game, but like, I actually do lean Mixon because without T. Higgins there, Jamar Chase being beat up a little bit, maybe they lean on Joe Mixon a little bit more, especially in the red zone.
Breece Hall is just so much.
I honestly think I'd rather start Mixon over Monty and then play Breece Hall as well.
It's not a bad idea either. The problem is we've just seen Monty be so productive when he's on the field in this Lions offense, man. That's the issue with having to sit him. I do agree, though, with Ike on that one because the fact that out of those three options, one of them is hurt. One of them's coming off a rib injury. The other two are completely healthy. Breece Hall and Mixon are healthy, and they have solid matchups too. It's not like, Breece
and
Hall.
I don't see much snaps getting taken from Breece Hall like Gibbs will take from Monty, I guess. So
well, I don't know if he even takes a whole lot, but yes, you are factoring that in there as well because it's pretty much just Hall right now, and it's Mixon where like Monty will probably deal with a little bit of Gibbs even if he is beat up. So I kind of agree with Ike on that one, Nathan. I'd consider benching Monty for Hall.
Next one here, we got Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson, Jacoby Myers, Michael Thomas, Zay Flowers, Jerry Jeudy. Need one and
first two
flex. It's correct.
It is correct. First two, Evans and Deontay, and then what was your flex?
Evans and Deontay in the flex. Yep, he needs just 1-on-1.
What? Oh, just 1-on-1. Okay, yep. My bad.
We like Tank Dell over James Cook in the flex. That's correct.
Indeed.
Well. Yep.
Apparently,
receiver over running back unless you got a top 10 running back.
And apparently, so does the fantasy community. They all think that as well.
For Richard, standard Deontay or Kelvin.
This
Ridley.
One's easy. This
Kelvin
one's
Ridley?
Deontay. No, it's Deontay. I mean, he's
in standard though.
Targets. It's 10+ targets a game. I mean, like
Ridley's a bigger play threat though.
But if he doesn't get the big play, he's getting 0.
Sure.
So like who has the better odds to score a touchdown? Yes, Ridley. But who is the safer option to at least get you the yards if you don't get the touchdown? Deontay.
Give me Calvin Ridley. Still staying there. See him finding the end zone. Give me the positive regression with Trevor Lawrence throwing some touchdowns, Mike. I'm trying to give you speaking that into existence.
Yeah, the week I don't start him.
Really glad DJ Moore got me 7 points against the crappy defense. Yeah, Tyler. Once again, shout out to Badger High School, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, heading to their first state championship football game next Friday. Congrats, Tyler. That's awesome stuff, man. But yeah, it definitely sucked for DJ. He 10 points in all my stuff with the PPR formats. And it's just kind of blah right now with Bajan at quarterback. Nothing like the coaching staff just coaching the aggressiveness right out of Bajan. So it's definitely not good stuff right now for that. From Dino, good morning, cuz. We got Take Down, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Deontay Johnson needs to pick 3. Ike, you start here.
Deontay, Tank Dell.
Come on.
I'm probably going Marquise Brown.
Yes, that's the same for me. Tank Dell, Marquise Brown, Deontay Johnson in this one.
I'm all right with that.
I hate not saying Adams. It's so weird, but I don't like
number one hardest matchup against wide receivers.
Yeah, and I don't like Aiden.
Like if you had worse options, if you had worse options, like if the other option was like Shaheed instead of Deontay Johnson, then you're playing Adams. But it's Deontay Johnson in that one. So Johnson, Marquise Brown, and Tank Dell. Dylan?
Yep. No, I agree with you guys. And just we want to get out of that Baltimore Cleveland game. I get it. Some points are going to be scored. Some guys are going to score fantasy numbers there, but I just don't really want a part of it.
It'll be weird people probably scoring.
I agree with that.
It's more of like a DFS type of angle you want to take at that because I'm sure that's Dave and talk about
perhaps
the exposure.
You could get some leverage on the field. Exactly, Mike. Yeah, that's actually a decent point. You've made 2 decent points on the show, man. That's great stuff.
Third time's a charm, and that one's going to cost you.
Fucking brain's working, except for the reading part.
Yep. We got from Christopher. Keep Hawkinson in with limited usage, or start Taysom Hill.
Yes.
Keep
Hawkin. Yes.
Yeah, I would probably keep Hawkin.
Unless man, it'd be real ballsy of you to do Taysom Hill.
How big are those things?
Like if you were in a situation like Ike is, where he's choosing between Evan Ingram and Taysom Hill, yeah, sure, I guess you can make the argument.
I would play Hawkins
not over Hawk. Yeah, not over Hawk.
That's a little bit of a stretch.
Back official active today.
What?
Just the
official active.
Correct.
So I can't read, he can't speak, and I don't know what you can't do yet, but we'll figure it out.
Jordan Addison or Jerry Jeudy rest of the season from my brother Gerald.
Addison.
It's Jordan Addison for me as well.
That's Jordan Addison rest of the season.
Give me the rocket scientist.
I agree.
Josh Dobbs throwing him the football. I like it.
Russell, like I said on the show last night, Russell Wilson leading the league right now in touchdown percentage at like 6.8%. Like he's gonna have some negative regression to that touchdown.
Sure. From Chris here, we got Calvin Ridley or Cortland Sutton or Hollywood Brown could start too. Calvin Ridley
Hollywood
for me.
Ridley and Hollywood.
I'm pulling up your rankings here. I want to see where you have Hollywood and where he's at in ECR.
I have no idea.
ECR 23. You have him as wide receiver 21. So he's pretty, and it looks like everyone has him pretty much locked in as a low end wide receiver 2 this week, which is nice. Just slightly ahead of Calvin Ridley, ahead of Jordan Addison, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, George Pickens, Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers.
Yeah, if Murray can look just like 3/4 of himself right there, though, I fully expect Marquise Brown to make a jump in those rankings next week.
Well,
he's got to look better than Dobbs. Dobbs looked fine, but he's got to be better. He's better than that. Come on.
Yeah. Yep. And we've seen the way that Kyler would hyper target DeAndre Hopkins when he was on the field. I know that Hollywood Brown isn't Hopkins. He's not even that type of receiver.
But still, when Hopkins was suspended last year for the 6 games, he hyper targeted Marquise Brown a lot.
Yeah, he was getting like 8 to 10 for the most part. Yeah.
And that's what he was getting with Dobbs. So I mean, the target just the quality of targets should get a little bit better with Kyler Murray.
Yep. Impossible, you're welcome, my friend. We welcome your questions anytime. We appreciate it. Next one from Jose. We got Jared Goff or Gino. Chef Gino.
Gino.
That one's Gino. Goff's home road splits are a thing, and Goff's on the road. And I know you're going to say, but there's rain projected in the Seattle game, Dylan.
You don't know what I'm going to say.
You said...
I don't even know that. I haven't looked at the weather report.
Yeah,
well, no, that's
what Angelo said last night.
Yeah, you were talking about it from last night. That's why I said that. But it's Gino. Gino's a great streaming option this week with the matchup.
I know you guys are saying he's in like Goff's on the road, guys, but he's still playing in a closed environment.
But he's playing on the road
in LA, and the Chargers' pass defense isn't great, and they're going to need to score. So I'm going to actually lean Goff here. Gino hasn't done anything for us to trust him. It's been a total opposite of what we saw last year. Last year he was so efficient in the red zone, throwing the ball, throwing touchdowns. This year he's been absolutely abysmal in the red zone.
I can easily see him and DK connecting on a deep pass, and that's something I don't think Goff is going to be able to work with. I think they're going to go back to a running game for Goff. They're going to get 20 carries for Montgomery, 10 for Gibbs. That's 30 right there. Not going to leave too much for him.
We don't think a lot about a QB until they play the Commanders secondary. So here's the thing: if Geno Smith can't do it this week with DK Metcalf and against that secondary, he's got Tyler Lockett.
You can leave him. Yeah,
like I said earlier, Kenneth Walker's a little bit banged up. He did, he's not, got an injury designation going into the week now, but practice wise, he was banged up. So maybe they lean on the passing game a little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. And looky, look what we got here.
What up, boys?
What's up, JJ?
Jordan, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just eating. I'm on a bachelor weekend basically right now, so I'm eating some leftover barbecue wings before we head out to the golf course. Just figuring out
nice.
Say what's up. Yeah, it's good. Good way to start the day.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like that.
It's better than watching this Colts Patriots game. Let me tell you.
You would think on vacation I would sleep in for that. No, my degenerate ass was up at 6:30 watching this shit show.
I would have been too.
I like it. Where are you guys at for the bachelor party?
Not bachelor party. It's just a couple of my buddies and I.
Okay.
Walla Walla, Washington.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it.
And dude, like high 50, low 60s weather in November. Can't really beat that for a golf trip.
Oh, you can. It's cold as shit here in Wisconsin, man.
Windy.
So I got some news. Jamar Chase is playing. We're starting him, right?
Firing him up.
Well, the temp, there's some expectations about the workload, but yeah, you're firing him up. Hopefully he gets 10 plus targets. It's just the workload's scary.
Yeah, man. I haven't been following it as close this weekend, so I saw that this morning. I was like, I better hop on here and see what these guys have to say on that one.
But he's not like T. Higgins though, where when he's injured and then he's active, he's a decoy out there.
Yeah.
Like Jamar Chase is not a decoy.
He's probably going for 180 and 2 scores for sure.
Jordan, before you pop out of here, though, let's get you to answer this start set question from Chris.
What's up?
Got Tony Pollard, James Cook, Jahmyr Gibbs, need to.
Gibbs, and I feel like Pollard have a good game this week. I feel like they're going to lean pretty heavy on him. If he doesn't get it going this week, then I think I'm officially worried about Pollard moving forward.
Yeah, right. I agree with you there. Those are the two that I would go with, too. Mike, is that where you're leaning as well?
Yeah, Pollard's best game was week 1 against the Giants. Finishes RB5 PPR. So, yeah, it's Pollard and Gibbs.
Yeah.
Mike?
Right.
Yeah, I said Pollard and Gibbs.
Cool.
All right, boys. Well, I'm going to get ready to head out here, man. I just want to say good morning.
Good luck.
Later, Jordan. Good luck on the course, man.
Cool. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
Later, buddy.
You did skip over Jose's question, though, when he hopped on in. It's all right. We'll go back to it, Jose.
It's Ayuk.
Ayuk or Gibbs in the flex, and I hate you, but it is Ayuk because Monty's probably going to take the majority of the workload for Gibbs.
Ayukin. Mike, you got the other questions pulled up? I don't know why my...
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, I can't get it to pop up on my screen. I'm not sure what's going on there.
No problem. Yeah. I had it loaded up and then it disappeared. What the hell?
He just lied right to my face.
No, I swear to God, I had it. I swear to God, I had it right here. And then Facebook decided to refresh it.
Get on the ball. Oh, that's
Gosh, damn
Zeke. Oh, is he all right? That looked nasty. Do you still not have it up, Mike? You told me you did. I got him up now. I beat you. We got Chris Godwin or Devontae Adams this week.
Why can I not find it now?
Because you're not looking for him. You're gallivanting.
I'm on my phone looking for him.
Oh, we got like Chris Godwin, Devontae Adams. I think this one's Devontae Adams
There
and
it
Godwin
is.
being sicky.
Yes, I agree with that.
No, I still lean Chris Godwin. I still lean Chris Godwin over Devontae Adams. Way tougher matchup for Devontae Adams, and Chris Godwin's got more of the targets over Evans the past 2 weeks.
Don't go to Ramondre. Although
so it's Chris Godwin. I do have the questions pulled up here, so just here you go. Here's your update. Dylan. Ramondre Stevenson standing on the sideline receiving medical attention. Looks like something with his lower back.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
They're trying to stretch him out right now. It looks like
Also, Michael Thomas is active. He is
wow.
in the orange
We just
jumpsuit.
shit on him all day.
I don't want to play.
Now he's gonna get his revenge game he's gonna drop just crazy amount.
His kid's gonna see this video trending somewhere. He's gonna be like, "These mother suckers."
These fuckers.
All right, I'll do the questions here though for you. I got them.
Hold on, I just got a personal message from our buddy Sean. Not sure why he's not talking to us on the stream because he knows we're on the show right now. Would you flex Noah Brown if Woods doesn't play and Collins out, or would you flex Najee Harris here?
What did you say?
Would you flex Noah Brown with Robert Woods out and if Collins is out, or would you flex Harris? Sean actually just answered it here, so there you go.
Noah Brown. Collins is out. I don't like Najee Harris.
I know you don't.
The matchup is good though, like for Najee, so I think that's actually.
But it's good for Noah Brown too. It's gonna be a shootout.
Well, and you don't have Robert Woods. You don't have Nico Collins either. I do lean Noah Brown slightly, but it's only because the fact Nico is out and Robert Woods is out. Otherwise, if either one of those two were present, like just one of them, I'd be leaning Harris. But Noah Brown should see an uptick in targets.
Is John Mechie gonna be the other guy?
Who knows, man?
Or who's the other one? Xavier Hutchinson, maybe?
I mean, it's been splitting between Mechie and Hutchinson, but otherwise it's been Noah Brown and Tank Dell that's really been the slot guy when everybody's been healthy. So, yeah, you can get away with Noah Brown.
God, 7-6.
I haven't. Robert Woods' status has changed from questionable to healthy from sleeper, so he actually looks to be good to go today.
All right, then it's Najee Harris. For me, it's Najee Harris then.
I think I actually lean Najee as well. I mean, Noah's still going to be on the field in 3 wide receiver sets, which is probably going to be 65-70% of the time.
Go Najee, I guess. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's
Najee's
fine.
probably gonna
Najee as well, Sean. Yeah, I definitely would not be surprised.
I'm curious to see what his odds are for an anytime touchdown this week.
Well, while you're reading the questions, I'll look that up for you, Mike.
All right. So, David Njoku or Logan Thomas from Michael?
Easy one. David Njoku.
Yes.
All right. Brandon wants to know he needs 2 wide receivers with Hill and Brown on bye. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, that's brutal. You got Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown on bye. I feel bad for the people you've been playing against. Jordan Addison, Calvin Ridley, or JSN. He needs 2. And that one's Addison and Ridley for me over JSN.
First 2, yep.
Read them again.
Agreed.
Ridley, JSN, and Addison.
Yep, Ridley and JSN. Najee's plus 150, Mike LaPlant for anytime touchdown. So you bet $10, you win 15.
That's not as good as I thought it'd be. For how bad he's
good.
Jaylen Warren plus 170. So yeah, it's not bad. Bet $100, win 150.
So even the betting lines think that Najee Harris is going to get a touchdown more than they think Jaylen Warren is going to get a touchdown. That basically
Vegas knows more than me, so.
Sean wants to know, with that being said, with what we talked about, Woods, or would you go Harris? I'd still lean Najee over Robert Woods.
Najee, yep.
Yes.
It's a volume play.
Our guy JJ here, Jordan, as a Cowboys fan, I can confirm there's like 65% that this is a trap
Fair enough.
from Noah Brown. Yeah, I can see that happening for sure too.
He shows up
very
for one
possible.
game, then disappears.
All right, so next one here. Jackson wants to know. Oh, standard scoring. Jahan Dotson or Noah Brown?
Jahan.
Dotson. Yep.
Yes, sir. Clean sweep. All right, another Michael here. We like Michaels.
No.
You're an asshole. Montgomery or Najee Harris?
Monty.
That one's David Montgomery. Give me that all day long.
Yep, that one's Monty. All right, Rasmus wants to know, in his flex, is he starting Jahmyr Gibbs, Chris Godwin, or James Conner?
Say again?
Telling you, in his flex, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chris Godwin, or James Conner?
Give me the con, man. James Conner for me.
That is who you said in the comments, too.
I guess Connor.
It is Conner, but it's close between him and Godwin. Okay, Nikki wants to know, PPR league, is she starting flex? Is she starting Cade Otton in the flex or George Pickens?
George Pickens. I don't like tight ends in a flex unless you got Kelsey and Andrews.
It's Georgie, baby.
No one's got Kelsey and Andrews on their team for the most part, but I know what you meant. Like if you got like a Kelsey or like you got Laporta, yeah, Laporta or something, then you could get away with starting a tight end in the flex. But otherwise, you're gonna go Pickens. Otton had a good game this past week, but nothing to go chase points over. Sydney wants to know: is she starting? Is she starting Joshua Dobbs or CJ Stroud this week?
CJ.
Yeah, it's still CJ here.
You guys aren't afraid he's going to revert back to the previous 2 weeks he had before that record-breaking performance? I mean,
Pandora can't go back in the box, Mike LaPlant.
I mean, I did bring up solid stats on last night's show about him struggling on the road. So
that's fine. It's a shootout, though. It's gonna be.
He does know his teammates' names too, for the most part. I hope maybe Dobbs is more of a face guy, not a name guy.
Scientist.
It's Stroud. Ramondre is questionable to return.
Not great, Bob.
Hey, remember when I told you about running back depth? Yeah.
No,
Josh,
what you did is you jinxed his team when you said,
I did not jinx shit. You say I jinx when literally running backs get hurt every single week throughout the year.
Fair. I constantly have to write about them.
Like running backs, due to the amount of volume they see, are just more prone to injuries, unfortunately. And that's why you prepare. Josh wants to know, James Conner, Jordan Addison, or Alexander Madison, PPR?
James Conner.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's James Conner. Well, you're different, Sean. You have, what was it, Dallas Goedert, Darren Waller?
No, I wouldn't do that either.
I mean, those are still better options.
That's just so random that.
Yeah.
Pick 2: Jordan Addison, Christian Kirk, Tyler Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins, Deebo Samuel.
All right, Addison,
Christian.
Kirk, Hopkins.
I gotta say DeAndre Hopkins because I have him wide receiver 9. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Hopkins and it's
Christian Kirk.
Between Kirk.
It's Christian Kirk.
Yeah, it's between Kirk and Lockett.
Kirk.
Lockett favors the matchup favors Lockett, but Kirk favors the volume, so I lean Kirk.
Quarterback Lamar Jackson or CJ Stroud. Still
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Start Lamar. He killed the Browns when he played him last time.
MVP level right now.
Yep.
They were saying it's between like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, depending on how this week goes for MVP.
That's insane
favorites.
that Joe Burrow can be so bad those first few games, and now he's already back into.
Yeah, the MVP stuff.
Well, that just goes to show
it's because of it's the quality of wins though. They beat the didn't they beat the Jaguars? Or no, they're going to be playing the Jaguars.
They beat 49ers and the Bills.
And the Bills, that's what it was. Bills. So those are 2 quality wins. So I think that has more to do with it, in my opinion. I think.
Okay.
Is that any other live questions, Dylan?
No.
All right. Abe wants to know, he's putting in his flex for PPR. Is it Trey McBride, Tyler Lockett, or Javonte Williams? It's between Lockett and Williams.
It's Javonte. I think that's what I said it in the comments, right?
You did say that in the comments.
That's where I lean there. And I just like the increased volume he's seeing, and he looks good. So that's where I lean.
He has looked all right.
You just want to admit it.
Well, he's looked all right. I want to see how he does with a continued increased workload like this. That's what I've been harping on since the beginning. But you still play Javonte Williams because he's going to get more volume than Lockett. All right. So
Agreed.
Kyle wants to know, DK Metcalf or this one's a tough one. I hate this one. That's a good one though. DK Metcalf or Tank Dell, full point PPR.
Shit.
It's Tank Dell, I think. I really do think it's Tank Dell.
I don't like this question. I don't like
because
it.
here's the thing, they're kind of the same player. Tank Dell, he's either finished as a top 15 wide receiver, or he's finished as below 30. It's like he's no in between. He is boom and bust kind of right now. Like, granted, last game it was impressive to see, and hopefully it's a step in the right direction. But DK's the same way. I mean, he's either been a wide receiver 2 or he's been 40 or worse.
I have to go in my rankings and say DK. I have him over Tank Dell, but I wouldn't be mad if you picked Tank Dell over DK.
I think it's a coin flip. Flip the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which doesn't help very much.
And Tank Dell just shows a higher ceiling right now. Like, both of them are kind of boom bust at the moment. Just Tank Dell has a higher ceiling, so give me the higher ceiling. Daniel wants to know, is he playing George Kittle or David Njoku?
Yeah, it's Kittle still.
Yeah, tough matchup for Njoku.
When you drafted Kittle, guys, you knew what it was.
Yep.
He's gonna have good weeks. He's gonna have bad weeks. Most of the time, when he doesn't have most of the time when he has a good week, he catches his touchdown. So it's just he's a borderline top 5 tight end, and he just kind of is what it is. He's also the best blocking tight end in football, so he's doing that a lot. So, and
they love to run the ball. So I actually lean Njoku in that one.
I still lean George Kittle just because you just know what you got yourself into when you drafted him. A little better version of Kyle Pitts right now for fantasy.
Better blocker.
Definitely.
Not according to Arthur Smith, though. Arthur Smith would say he's a top 5.
We got a live one here from Jay Bike. Lamar. Real live one. We got Lamar or CJ Stroud.
Lamar
as well.
Jordan Love or Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray. Jordan Love, I have probably quarterback 27.
Yeah, it's you temper your expectations.
It can't be 20. He probably is like quarterback 24.
You temper your expectations on Murray, but you still start him over Love.
Dan wants to know what's on the menu for lunch. I actually don't have any plans right now.
I'm not sure.
I don't have French bread pizza, but
that
definitely have
sounds
a
really
good
too. Like, you're gonna make that from scratch, Dion, like a French bread pizza, or like a Stouffer's French bread pizza. Either way, I'm in. But but I like that. That does sound good. Might do a frozen pizza or something. Fish sticks.
The fuck?
No fish sticks for you, like?
No.
God, I so want to make that South Park joke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's only 10:50 in the morning, man. You can't.
That's not the reason I'm not making it. He wants to start 2 here. James Cook, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, and James Conner. It's Aaron Jones and James Conner. James Cook,
Harris,
Aaron Jones, and James Conner.
Agreed with LaPlant.
I'm over here pitting because Matt Gay's lining up for a 51-yard field goal right now. Oh my God, I feel better. I'm so scared.
I hope he misses.
Get in there, ball.
This is what you get for saying kickers aren't people.
Yes. My man. He was probably at like 0 before that kick. That probably just was 5 or 6.
He's at 6 now, yeah.
Julian wants to know, is he starting Ridley or Lockett this week?
I don't know. I feel like we've had this question, and this one's tough every time it comes up. And I forgot who I said earlier, but I'm going to go Ridley. That's where I go still.
Man, I lean Lockett in that one. I don't help.
I like it, Dion. That sounds super good.
That does sound super good. Scratch pizza is always the best. And then also, Julie wants to know, is he starting Jerome Ford or Jahan Dotson in the flex?
Here's our
Jahan.
Just get out
No
of that
more
game.
Josh
Been
Doxson.
saying that all morning.
Man,
I
what
don't
about
like
those what about those extra points he gets from holding field goals?
He doesn't get any.
Ever since that day, he's been good.
It's Dotson.
That horrendous day.
Jarek needs to pick 2 here. Mike Evans, Debo Samuel, or Calvin Ridley. Who you sitting out of those 3?
Sit Debo.
Yeah, I'm sitting Debo on that one.
I suppose, yeah.
I just like it, man, he plays so aggressive and he's coming off an injury. Just I
He's
don't
so
know.
boom or bust as is. It's not great. So I get it. But Calvin Ridley also been not great. So it's definitely hard to pick between those two. But yeah, give me Ridley.
Kinsey needs to start 1. Jalen Warren, Zach Moss, or Brian Robinson. That one out of those is Brian Robinson.
Well, Zach Moss is playing right now, so
That's true. So scratch Zach Moss. So you have
Brian Robinson or Jalen Warren.
Yeah, it's Brian Robinson.
I kind of like Jalen Warren myself.
I'm going Jalen.
I'm not digging Brian Robinson lately, man. With the increased workload, Antonio Gibson's getting involved in the
and with how much they like to pass.
Yeah, I think I lead Jalen Warren.
I mean, Brian Robinson got passing work in the beginning of the season. He was getting screens, so like it very well could happen again.
He took one to the house and absolutely demolished the dude at the goal line. I was at your house during that. Remember that?
Yeah,
destroyed the dude.
So like it's very I still lean Brian Robinson. The volume just favors him. Paige wants to know, is she starting Brock Purdy or Geno Smith this week?
Geno.
Yeah, you'll take Geno there in that one. I don't got a problem with that.
All right. And then Chuck needs to know, TJ Hawkinson or Trey McBride? I was with you on Geno too, if you didn't know.
It's still Hawk.
Yep, it's Hawk. And then, a lot of McBride this week. This one's a good one, though, Dylan. This one's targeting you, I have a feeling. McBride or Kyle Pitts?
That is a good one.
Yeah, it's Ka.
I'm going McBride on that one.
I do lead McBride on that one. Yeah, I think the volume favors him, even though Pitts is obviously more talented.
Look at Zeke. It's probably coming back because of a hold, but he's feeling it, man. Started him in a league in our RB2 spot this week, LaPlant, because it doesn't matter.
Well, you just got lucky because fucking Ramondre's out now, so he's gonna get increased workload. Like, you got lucky.
He was got some good while Ramondre was in
Is Zeke the next guy you're gonna pick up and drop to for your running back depth?
Maybe. It's a nice swap with Tyler Algier and AJ Dillon, man. Nothing wrong with that.
All right. First defensive question here. Steven wants to know, San Fran defense or Seattle's defense?
Seattle. I know I've been hyping up Washington this whole time, but they get sacked a lot, so you're gonna get points there no matter what.
Yeah, and Jacksonville runs the ball a lot, so if you're running the ball and you're not dropping back, there's not a lot of sack opportunities there. Yeah, I lean Seattle D in that one.
Ramondre is back on the field, by the way.
Nice.
It's lined up as an outside receiver for some reason. Doing some stuff.
Good way to get your back in the.
Yeah, you kidding.
Pulling an Arthur
Just
Smith
do some wins
out
there.
Zeke with 11 PPR points though this morning, huh?
Good.
This is weird stuff this morning.
Yep, weird stuff.
All you see is weird stuff from these.
He's probably the highest position player right now, isn't he?
8:30 kickoffs.
No, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah, Anthony wants to know, Devontae Adams or Chris Olave this week? That one's Olave.
Yeah, it's Olave.
Against the Vikings. Yeah, Devontae against the Jets. It's not great. If you have a better option like Olave, you start him over Devontae. All right, Miko, starting Hawkinson and Kincaid, one at tight end, one at flex. We good? Absolutely, we're good. Kincaid's the top 5 tight end ranked this week, I'm pretty sure.
That's fine. I wish I knew your other options. Maybe you could slide Hawk.
I have like Kincaid 2 or 3 for tight end.
I'm fine with Kincaid and Hawk. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, Kincaid's coming on. All the rookie tight ends are.
Hopefully, you don't have a wide receiver over Hawkinson you can't play. Like Addison.
That's what I'm thinking. I'd like that more, but it is what it is if that's what you got.
Yep.
All right. So next one here, another defensive question. Atlanta defense or Cleveland defense?
Ooh.
I would lean Atlanta's defense.
I would not drop Cleveland's defense though. If you have them.
Man,
Atlanta gets the return of Kyler.
Yep.
Yeah, keep the Browns defense on your roster, but play the Falcons this week. All right. So, start 2 PPR league. Actually, it's going to be start 1 because Chase is 50-50 to play, and you're playing him. So start 1, Ayuk versus Jags, Brian Robinson versus the Cardinals, Tank Dell versus the Bengals, Javonte Williams versus the Bills, Hollywood Brown versus the Falcons, or Gabe Davis versus the Broncos.
You only start 1?
Apparently so. Yeah, he said start 2 PPR.
What is this, a 2 kicker league?
I mean, because he said if Chase is 50-50, and I think that was why the main question here is, but if he's playing, you're playing Chase. So you only get one of those other options, which in my opinion, I think I lean Tank Dell.
You got to rate him again for me. There's like 6 names.
Bijan, Ayuk, Tank Dell, Javonte Williams, Hollywood Brown, and Gabe Davis.
God, I really want to make that choice.
It's between Bijan and Tank for me.
I'd probably go Bijan.
I lean Tank just because I
didn't they say they want to give him more touches?
Yeah, whatever.
Who said that? Who said that?
I thought I heard something about that.
It wasn't Arthur Smith, let me tell you.
D'Amico Ryans probably said that about Tank Dell, so that's Halloween.
All right, so next one here. We got, we already had this one. Oh, actually, no, we didn't. Kittle or McBride? PPR.
Kittle. I think we did have that one.
Yeah, we did. Yep, George.
All right, I picked McBride then, if we did.
You silly boy.
Trey McBride.
No, that was McBride and Pitts, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I still pick I still pick McBride. More targets.
Yeah.
Tight ends suck, guys.
That was weird.
How fun do you have ranking them, Ike? Do you have fun ranking tight ends?
What?
Tight ends? How fun do you have ranking them?
It's not great.
Yeah, that's right.
Go Pop Douglas. Yeah. Doing some things over here.
Is that his first sighting of the game?
No, he's been doing stuff. He's probably got 10, 11 points now, yeah.
Oh, does he? Nice. All right. Jessica wants to know start 3 here. We got DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, or Taysom Hill.
How many are you starting?
Start 3. You got 4 options: Hopkins, Kirk, Deontay Johnson, and Taysom Hill.
It's Hopkins, Kirk, and Johnson, and we've been talking Taysom Hill up this whole show. So I mean,
but those are solid 3 options.
Yeah, definitely some very solid options instead of him for sure. Definitely it's safer floors and stuff.
All right, let's do some rapid fire here since we only got about a couple minutes left. Steven, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams, full point PPR.
Mari.
Devontae.
I lean Amari in that one.
Yeah, that one's really tough.
Mark, Noah Brown or Devin Singletary?
No.
Pierce is out, so I lean Singletary on that one.
They can't run the ball, save their life, though.
Yeah, that's why I lean Noah Brown as well, even with Robert Woods in the game.
I lean Singletary on that one. More volume.
All right, give us one more, and then let's get the DFS guys in here.
2 more. Jacoby Myers, Tyler Boyd. Because that one's easy. This is why I said 2 more. Tyler Boyd for that one. And then this one's the tougher one. Will Levis or Kyler Murray?
Kyler.
Yeah.
I told you that was the tougher one.
And then we also got a live one from our guy, Brandon. Jordan Addison, Zach Charbonnet, or Noah Brown? That's
Jordan Addison.
I lean Murray on that last question, just so I get that answer out there. And then this one is Jordan Addison.
Yep, that's where I lean as well.
Brandon, trust the rocket scientist.
Yep. Ike, plug some stuff before you get out of here, my friend.
Be on the lookout on Mondays. That's where I do the injuries, and I do rankings for the site. Other than that, you'll see me on Fridays too, or sometimes Saturdays. Depends on you guys.
Did you
Right
plug
on
your
in.
injury impact article?
Yeah, that's what it is. The injury impact article, fantasy6pack.net. And then you can find my waiver wire article Tuesday morning over on fantasy6pack.net as well. And then the waiver wire video on the site. So check that out.
Just check out all the shows we got going on here throughout the week, guys. It's totally worth it. And then, thank you guys for joining me. Like always, thanks for subbing in, Ike. Saying with 2 segments, it was very big of you. I know you didn't want to. Go get yourself another mug of hot chocolate.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good one. Good luck, guys. All right. Now what you guys have been waiting for, the part of the show that helps you win money. It's the DFS Daddies. Detroit Beastie, Chris Robbin, and Dave Eddy. Welcome to the stage, guys. Take it over.
Yes.
Boy, it feels like we just did this.
I was never going to make fun of anybody because I'm having coffee out of a Detroit Lions mug. And I mean, if a grown man wants to have hot chocolate with those little marshmallows,
I love it
on a live broadcast. Who am I to kind of follow that? But truth be told, I love hot chocolate. I don't like those little freeze dried marshmallows that come in the package already. You got to get those big, fresh, nasty ones and clump them in, and we go from there. So
speaking of nasty, I have got to point out your attire.
Yes.
What is it that you're wearing that I have a problem with?
Probably that you think it's Ohio State colors, correct?
It is Ohio
It's
State
orange
colors.
It is orange as orange could be.
On screen,
this is
disgusting.
red. Look at red, a red Solo cup compared to this orange kind of Under Armour thing. You could see it there.
Regardless, it's too close for comfort. I don't like it. Just for future reference.
Well, it is what it is. I got the Lions mug. We're rolling. So,
all right. Well, let's hop into inactives here. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Chris already knows this. I wouldn't say I've been scrambling this morning. I just ran short on time. So the first time I really looked at inactives was about 10 minutes ago. And so, yeah, I'm going to kind of have to process this a little bit as I go through it. So bear with me just a little bit. I'm going to cover things, obviously, from, MME, a cash perspective here. So the reason I mentioned that is right off the top, we got Keaton Mitchell. He is going to be active. Not anything to do with cash, but for MME, I think that could be an interesting spot to go if you wanted to get different. We talked about that on Friday a little bit. Really, what it came down to the biggest news, and this really completely changed what I was doing in cash this week. We already knew T. Higgins was out, waiting on official word on Jamar Chase. He is in. I did expect that he would be active, but they did activate 2 guys from the practice squad, which is one more than you would expect, which does make me nervous. And that's what actually got me off of Burrow in cash and moved me to the guys that we'll talk about. I think Chase is fine if you want to go MME. I mean, you could get close to nothing or nothing out of him, but he also could put up 50 points in this game. So too risky for me in cash. I think it's still fine in MME if you have the risk tolerance level to go that way. Robert Woods is in. I think that's interesting, mostly because I had mentioned in our private Discord that I like Tank Dell more if Robert Woods was in. I don't know if I said that on the Friday show or not, but I probably did. I like, an extra body to keep track of on the field that, is an NFL caliber receiver. So I think having Woods out there is good because we know Nico Collins is out. We know Dameon Pierce is out. So for Tank Dell, I think Woods being in is interesting. And then speaking of Dameon Pierce, that makes, Singletary viable. I actually think that news might have broke on Friday while we were on air, so I was able to make mention of it at that exact moment. Zay Jones, we know he's out. Ridley makes for an interesting MME play because he's been so up and down. Christian Kirk has always kind of been in play. Justin Jefferson, he's officially out. I think we expected that. KJ Osborne is inactive. I think that's really good news for TJ Hawkinson as it's turned out because things have changed around a little bit. I went from TJ Hawkinson in my cash lineup to I've moved to Trey McBride. However, I still have Hawkinson as my silly strings pick bet. So this is good news for my face, I guess. TJ Hawkinson, speaking of him, he is active here, obviously. I think he could still have a really big week. He's got that rib injury, though. And could you imagine trying to play football with a rib injury. Like how do you protect that? It's going to be hard. I mean, but that dude's a beast. The rib injury had a little bit of a play for me as far as cash is concerned. Still very interested in Hawkinson for MME because he could have, I mean, he's not going to probably, but he could have 15 catches today. It's just, I mean, he has that kind of a ceiling. I'm not saying he's going to have 15 catches, but I mean, he could. Treylon Burks is out. That makes it interesting for Nick Westbrook-Akine, who I know you had mentioned. And then if you want to get real on the punt side of things, Kyle Phillips, is interesting as well. And then, of course, DeAndre Hopkins was already very much in play, but now this is one less person for Will Levis to throw the ball to. And then Will Levis is inactive. They've, Tannehill is inactive. They've, obviously said that regardless, Levis was going to start. I think Levis makes for a really interesting MME stacking option at quarterback if you wanted to go that route. For the later games, we don't really have a lot of official news here, but James Conner, he is activated from the IR. He is going to lead that backfield. DeMarcado is out. I don't know exactly what kind of volume you're going to get from Conner, but traditionally he is a workhorse back. I expect that he'll be 100% in this game here today, but for cash purposes, obviously can't go there. At least I can't go there. For MME, if you want to, I think that the upside potentially is there. Michael Wilson, he's questionable. Again, with Murray back in the mix, that's a guy that if he's active and you want to go there to be cheap at MME, I get it. Another one that if you want to go a little bit deeper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, the new Lions receiver, he is questionable. I, however, think that if you want to go with Goff, everyone's going to stack Goff with either Amon-Ra St. Brown and or Sam Laporta. If you want to get a little bit different, I don't think that a Josh Reynolds or a Khalif Raymond makes sense like it did in the past. I think DPJ is your interesting third wheel to that stack because he's going to be the deep guy. So if he does get in there, all he's got to do is catch that one pass, one deep pass for, whatever it's going to be 50 plus yards and he's going to get you a touchdown. Even if that's all he does, I think that he makes it very interesting. And then Curtis Samuel's questionable. I expect him to play. So I think you're going to see a full complement of receivers in Washington. You're going to have, of course, McLaurin. You're going to have Dotson. You're going to have Samuel. You're going to have Logan Thomas. I'll kind of get into a little bit more of that because that does affect me a little bit later on. But Chris, anything in that news? Nothing really different from what we talked about on Friday, just some more confirmation. But anything in that news that stands out to you or changes really anything we talked about on Friday?
No, I like the idea that it means, in a way we're on the right track, which is normally the right case, right? When we talked about Sam Howell, I love stacking him with Curtis Samuel and Dotson. I mean, that is very much in play. I was surprised, a little bit shocked to see you getting off Joe Burrow because we had talked about him on Friday. Yeah. And as when you talk, when I'm on any broadcast or I watch a broadcast, I always got to take notes just in case, because again, regardless, professional or not professional, still a student of the game, right? I still love, you can learn from other people or get your mind or brain going in a different direction because I've been home sick for like 2 weeks, right? So it's like, I mean, I have like tunnel vision, right? Last week I did nothing, unfortunately. And now this week kind of dipping my toes back into the water. And it's like, okay, well, this came too easy. So maybe I should, put my pen and paper down and listen to some other people and see what we get. So all those inactives, mainly kind of reassurance. And my one surprising thought was you're getting off Joe Burrow here, but I saw the end of the last broadcast, people are starting to get and come around on DeAndre Hopkins, who wasn't even on my radar until you mentioned him on Friday, which I had written down. I built the whole lineup while you were talking last week, guys, that you loved. And it started with Burrow, Mixon, and it ended with McBride and Hopkins. So this is going to be going to be kind of fun in a way. Things are going, throw a wrench into the works here.
Yeah, my single entry lineup probably was going to revolve around Burrow, just like my cash lineup was. And it's completely a coincidence that, a lot of times, honestly, my cash QB and my single entry QB end up being the same. And I don't do that on purpose. sounds like I do, but I do not. I have completely different sets of rules. And this is another week where it worked out where Sam Howell's going to be my quarterback in both. And I'll just run through that lineup for you real quick because my single entry usually ends up being similar to cash, but I make a few tweaks to give it that upside and that ceiling as opposed to the floor. So, for example, my single entry this week for cash, I'm going to go Howell. You're not going to like who I stack him with because it's literally the opposite of who you're stacking him with. You're talking Dotson and Samuel. I'm going McLaurin and Thomas. I'm running it back with Tyler Lockett. It was kind of a choice between Lockett or Jackson Smith and Jigba for me. Yeah. The way that the rest of the lineup works out, Lockett is where I go. I'm going Tony Pollard. I can't do it in cash. It's too risky for me. But Tony Pollard could be RB1 this week. And I'm going to take that chance in MME. I'm going to take that chance in the single entry because I'm trying to build a ceiling here, right? I've paired him with the Cowboys defense. Now, I put this in Discord. I said, you guys, I hope you're sitting down for when my cash pool comes out because we spent some time talking on Friday, and I've spent years talking about, I don't pay up at defense. It bites me in the ass. I've done it twice, and it's never worked out. In not only cash, but in this lineup, I'm paying up. I'm going Cowboys defense.
Hey.
I mean, it's just, I'm pairing it with Pollard, so I'm getting correlation. I'm getting upside. I don't have the ownership up anymore. I don't remember exactly how unique it is, but they're not the chalk defense, so I can live with it. I still got Joe Mixon in there. I think that, being off Burrow with, Higgins, being out with Chase being potentially limited to a wide degree, no matter what, I think Mixon is still very much in play. So I like Mixon not only for the floor, but for the ceiling there. I've got DeAndre Hopkins in that lineup. Again, this is a guy whose ceiling could be ridiculous. I mean, would anybody be shocked today if Hopkins has 10 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns? I wouldn't. That's absolutely within his range of outcomes. And then, again, where I get a little bit unique, which was kind of necessitated just by salary to some extent. I've got 2 tight ends here because I've already got Logan Thomas in my stack. I'm also going Evan Ingram, who to me is similar-ish to Kelsey, just in the simple fact of I think he's more of a receiver than he is a tight end. And he's $4,500 on DraftKings. That's a pretty good, cheap wide receiver. So that's how I went based on some of this news. It's very similar to my cash lineup, but like I said, it's mixed in with some ceiling plays. So yeah, that's where I'm going. I was actually kind of interested in Bijan a little bit. Again, couldn't do it in cash, but for MME, again, he with this matchup today, I mean, if he ended up RB1, a lot of Atlanta fans would be happy because they hey, we finally used Bijan, but for cash, he's been so disappointing that I don't think we can go there, even though it's getting on a lot of people's radars. But anyways, that's a lot of talking about that.
But hey, really quick, I know it's about 1:15 p.m., 12 noon Eastern time here. Kickoff is about 45 minutes away. So while you guys that are watching have the luxury of being able to, fool around and tinker. I hate using the word tinkering DFS. It's like, that's my number one. That's the absolute death of your DFS lineups when you start to tinker here. But I'll run through one of my favorite MME single entries. I'll show you mine if you show me yours, and I'll be quick in this one. And it's kind of what I said. It's Washington, Detroit, Seattle with the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Is this FanDuel or is this DraftKings?
This is FanDuel. I'm a FanDuel guy.
Yep. I just want to
fool around with
to make sure.
I want to mention Yahoo really quick. The Yahoo DFS experience is pretty fun because we're used to FanDuel and DraftKings where the prices are thousands of dollars, right? FanDuel, you get 60,000 fictitious bucks to build a lineup. Or DraftKings is 35K, something along those lines. 50 something. 50, yeah. And on Yahoo, you're going to get a guy like Justin Herbert's $34, right? Or Kyle Phillips, he's $10. So
is it $100 salary cap?
Something like that. Yeah, it's awesome. I've had a great time. Like let's see, Mark Andrews is $21. So to me, it gets you. It's a test, right? It's a challenge. That's the whole reason I started playing on FanDuel like 10 years ago. It's because it was a challenge. Seasonal was kind of. You can only play it so long before you're kind of like, I've done all I can do, right? It's like Hogan or Cena in the WWE. Did all I can do. I'm going to split for a little while. But to me, Sam Howell is my quarterback, and I have both Detroit Lions running backs here. When Gibbs and Montgomery are both active, in the same lineup, in the same game, it's one of those things where they're not taking away from each other. They're only giving to each other, if that makes sense at all, right? Because Gibbs will do his thing, and then Montgomery comes in, or Montgomery pounds the football, kind of puts the defense on their heels, and then boom, swing pass to Gibbs. He takes it for 30, 40 yards. So to me, Gibbs and Montgomery complement each other very well. Nothing to do with Lions homerism here. Scary Terry.
I agree.
Scary Terry gotta have this week, regardless. But if you're playing Sam Howell as your quarterback, Scary Terry is a must have. And I love stacking him between Dotson or Curtis Samuel. Which way are we going to go? So I made two entries out of this. This one here has Terry and Dotson. You could make one with Terry and Samuel for all it matters, right? I have DK Metcalf as a wide receiver in that one. So we're going heavy kind of studs at wide receiver. If you made Metcalf, McLaurin, and then my tight end is Sam Laporta. That is another one, right? Seattle's 25th, 26th overall against opposing tight ends. You're getting that 3 Detroit line, that triple header, like the 3 studs aside from Amon-Ra. That would be sweet if you could find a way to mix him in. Probably have to take out DK Metcalf. That's your choice. And my flex play, it fits like a glove. Zach Charbonnet, the rookie running back from Seattle. And we know Ken Walker has rarely missed any games. Second season was something was bugging him in his chest. Regardless, Zach Charbonnet is getting some run here, mentioned in bottom of the barrel here. And at $4,900 in a flex spot, we know he's not going to goose egg in. If he finds the end zone, catches a pass or two, more than likely, then we are rolling. And my defense, the Dallas Cowboys. So there's a lot of give and take in this lineup, and there's a lot of ways where you can pivot. So that was my main, GPP slate here, and that's the one I built off of. That was my gut, maybe Wednesday or so, and I've built probably 24 lineups. And this is my main. This is like my Death Star. Star Wars is my Death Star, and I built from there. And I've made graphs and charts and everything from this one here. There's a lot of different ways to go. That's where I'm going. Dave, give me another quarterback or two that you are all in on, and we will be mindful of the time. I promise.
Yeah. So, when it gets to be Sunday, everything's pretty dialed in. And it really, to me, was for my cash lineup. It was a conversation twofold. It was either Geno or Howell, and I was having a hard time. And so I did something I don't normally do. This is, again, where I kind of lost some of my time today. I looked around a little bit, and I saw a lot of Geno. But to be fair, I mean, I've learned over time, and I've really put it into practice the last couple, 3-4 years, where I don't typically go outside of, myself or my little circle to get information. But I was struggling a little bit this week, and I just wanted to see what was out there. And even though I saw so much Geno, I still went with Howell. I just have Howell projected a little bit better personally. So I stuck with it, but that was the decision I was trying to make between those two guys, because once I got that, Chase basically confirmation that, yeah, he's playing, but it's what I thought. He's playing, but he's still very questionable as far as what we're going to get from him. And that's what officially got me off of Burrow. And then it was, like I said, Geno or Howell. And then it came down to the wide receivers of Tank Dell or McLaurin for cash. And I kind of thought to myself, I don't force correlation in cash. I just don't. And I thought originally, I said, I've got 2 coin flips here, basically. I've got Howell and Geno, and I've got McLaurin and Dell. And sometimes, a coin flip, to me, you got to find a reason to pick one. And I thought, you know what? I've got 2 commanders sitting right in front of me. I could just go Howell, and I could just go McLaurin. Either way, it's a toss-up, but I'm getting the correlation there. As it turns out, it came down to, I like the rushing floor that Tank Dell has, where McLaurin doesn't have that. I know it's very minimal, may end up only being a point or less, but that's how I made the determination. So anyway, so that got me onto Howell. Geno was the other guy that I was considering.
Yeah,
for cash. For MME, I'm still rolling out Howell. That's my single entry. I'm doing 3 maxes with him. I'm still doing Burrow, and I've got him paired with Irwin, and I've got him paired with Chase. And then I'm doing a Jared Goff as well, where I'm doubling him with St. Brown, and I'm doubling him with Sam Laporta. bringing back Keenan Allen.
That's beautiful. And it's kind of like in the get to see in the mind of a maniac. That's what I always say when I just talk,
kinda, right?
When there's no notes in front of me and I know what I've done this week. I kind of rewind the process the best way I can. And to be fair, sometimes, I don't know about you, but I've caught a lot of heat over the years, just like you talk too much, or you talk and you don't really say much. So sometimes I don't have any notes in front of me and I kind of rewind the process as best as I can. And then it's like, well, I'm serious. Who's talking shit now? I mean, it's just like, I'm telling you what is in my mind and the thoughts that I'm thinking when I run through my process. And I got that vibe a little bit from you when you were saying, well, this is why I like Gino, but I went to, Howell because of this way. And I have a golf lineup. It was like a moment of sincerity. You're just telling the folks what you're up to and just sharing your thoughts. And to be fair, all these folks who throw shade or talk shit and put you down, they have no stones to kind of step up and publish an article themselves. They don't have the stones to kind of get on a microphone and camera because they don't know how to articulate what they're thinking as well as us, let's say, or as well as, the other guys and whatever website you're into. So before you put people down and make fun, would you be able to do the same thing? I know we're not speaking to a million people right now, but hey, we're here. We woke up and we're here and we're doing our best here. So it is what it is.
And I think that's the difference, though, between the Friday show and today's show. The Friday show is, hey, this is kind of roughly, the pool that I'm in, right? And then come Sunday, now it becomes, hey, this is how I made my decision. And so, that's where that comes up. Yes, there was no notes off of what I just talked about whatsoever. That was just me running you through what my process was this morning and how I came to my conclusion.
Which is better than most, I can say. We've talked about quarterbacks till we're blue in the face. I'm going to skip ahead of the running backs here, if you guys don't mind. Christian McCaffrey, the most expensive running back. We know why. I'm pivoting. I mentioned him on Thursday. He's been in my notes since probably Tuesday. Quarterbacks, bottom of the barrel, published Tuesday. Wednesday, I mentioned, what was his name? Devin Singletary. And now Damon Pierce is inactive. Talked about him a smidge on Thursday. And now he's going to have the lay of the land. He's going to have full run for the Texans here. Houston goes to Cincinnati. Over-under is 47 points in this one. And the only reason I mention that is because the over-unders tell a story. Normally, Vegas knows what they're doing. Go back. I will send a picture of, my final scores, right? It's on a little sheet of paper here, wherever you can see it. Let the thing pop. There it is. And go back through all the games and just look at the final score and compare it to the over-under that came out like 5 or 6 days ago. Every game is so close unless there's an anomaly. Something that's like, 70 to like Denver or Miami put up 70 points. That was an anomaly. But when we look at Houston and Cincinnati, this over-under is the second highest point total aside from the Detroit Chargers game. So they're saying
that's
something.
with the injuries. And, that's with T. Higgins out. That's what Chase probably limited as well. So, exactly.
These over-unders I grabbed from Vegas probably Monday afternoon when they first came out, and there hasn't been much line change in this one. So to me, there's going to be some points. There's going to be some throwing and some running. So Devin Singletary, to me, looking at his price tag, it's ridiculous. I mean, it is. Let me double check. 5.7 on FanDuel, 4.7 on DraftKings, only $14 on Yahoo. I have Devin Singletary, 16 to 17 carries, around 70 to 75 yards, almost a lock to find the end zone. I have a anytime touchdown bet I'm putting together on my own this week, Dave. Thank you very much.
I know, I've been forgetting.
70 to 75 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and a reception or two for nothing crazy, 12 to 15 yards here, but it's going to pay dividends because of the volume and how lowly his price tag is. And again, ownership percentages be damned. I think we're going to miss that cutoff where by the time folks realize what's going on and they're scrambling to put Singletary in their lineups, this thing I've already been locked, and they go, oh no, I missed it. I forgot I effed up. So we're flying under the radar with Devin Singletary, just a pinch, if I'm not mistaken. As we go down, I mentioned Zach Charbonnet, the rookie back for Seattle. He's going to see some work regardless if Ken Walker, who's to say that it's not one of those things where Ken Walker, the second-year guy out of Michigan State, doesn't play as a couple snaps, couple reps, and something in his chest. It's like kind of like in the ribs in a way. Every movement, everything we do involves our core and our ribs, right? And so your chest in a way too, especially when you're carrying when you're running like this, it's all chest meat, right? So to me, who's to say? Same thing with Chase. He comes down funny and he's out, right? Unfortunately, not wishing that on. I wouldn't wish an injury on my worst enemy, but be just to be safe. There's something about Charbonnet this week that we're very much into. Rico Daldo. If you're going to stack up, Dallas's defense, and you love Tony Pollard in your cash games, why can't we do the same thing? But instead of Tony Pollard in a single entry MME with 110,000 people, we can do the Dallas DST and run it back with Rico as our running back, because again, the Giants are giving, however, 17 points, 16 and a half points. We don't see point spreads like this in the NFL very often. So again, that's telling in its own right. So I love Rico in a certain ways, 4-5 on FanDuel, 4-3 on DK, super cheap. And lastly, I didn't mention him at all on Thursday because I was going to wait and see. I talked so much crap about Pittsburgh and Green Bay. I loved it to start. It's going to be under. But again, if it's going to be under, they still got to play 4 quarters. And Najee Harris is starting to come on a little bit. Mike Tomlin has found a little niche for Najee Harris, and he's right at that cutoff for bottom of the barrel. And I made an executive decision. My article, in a way, published here at Fantasy Six Pack. Find it on the Discord, wherever you want to do it. At Fantasy Six Pack, Najee Harris, 6-5 on FanDuel, 4-9 on DK, $19 on Yahoo. Pittsburgh, Green Bay right now, 23rd overall against opposing running backs. And when you look at Najee Harris, you have Jaylen Warren, who I talked about briefly on Thursday, but Najee Harris is still the guy there. I'm thinking 13, 14 carries, 55 to 60 yards would be outstanding. You're going to get 3 to 4 receptions out of Najee, around 20 yards. So you're looking at around what did I say? We had about 80 all-purpose yards, and that's kind of like a floor, I'd imagine, and then a touchdown, and we go from there. So to me, Najee Harris, he's like in that gray, right? He's in like purgatory in a way. He's not expensive like the studs, but he's not as cheap enough as like that you're just punting at running back. He's like right in the middle of that purgatory. So he's just probably going to go very vastly underowned. And to be fair, not going to kill your lineup. It's not going to win you $1 million, but to me, he's a perfect kind of I just don't want a goose egg at the running back position. Look at Najee Harris's, point of view here, Dave. So what are you looking at running backs wise? I know you liked, if I may, because I write down when you talk, right? I said that 1 million times. I know you're way into White this weekend. Tampa Bay's playing. Tampa Bay's hosting the Tennessee Titans. That game could be fun in its own right, but I know you liked White. Who else you looking for this weekend?
Yeah, I've had Mixon locked in pretty much from the beginning. Nothing has changed there. Really liked ATN as well. I talked about how the matchup on paper is not as bad as you just think it is. And I don't even, let me pull my notes up to see what they were.
I will say I built a couple lineups, and without even looking at research, I've started building lineups with Gibbs and ETN. I mean, the possibilities and the upside with both of those. It's one of those where you see it and you're like, I haven't read a thing. I just like it right off the bat. ETN and Gibbs, the upside and the pass catching. Yeah, it's a great way to start building a roster this weekend.
Yeah, so as it turns out, San Francisco 17th in schedule adjusted fantasy points to running back. So, that's not as scary as, what you think it is, because you think, oh, that 49ers defense, but it's not as bad as you think. And then kind of the last place where I was going back and forth is, in the flex spot, I'm going Rachaad White, but I could very easily have gone ahead and paid a little bit extra because I had a couple $100 extra. I could go up to DeAndre Hopkins in that spot. I think I'm settling on White because I just think he's safer, but the ceiling is higher with Hopkins. So, we go that was, once I decided on Howell, once I decided on Tank Dell, that's where the final decision was White or Hopkins. And then I always think CMC's in play. I think this week is more of a MME play, but if you want to go there in cash, you will never get an argument from me. Devin Singletary, we talked about him. I think that he's probably a little bit too thin for my liking with cash. I don't think that we're going to have a problem with the volume probably being there. And when I say volume in this particular case, I do mean more about the snaps than actual, maybe what he's going to do on the field. But I think that, the volume is there to the point where his salary makes him playable. And then Tony Pollard, so many people I can see wanting to play Tony Pollard this week. Absolutely makes sense. I mean, home team favored by 17 points. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out he should get a ton of touches. It's just he has not been good with those touches so far this year. He's only got 3x one time. That just happened to be week 1 against this same Giants team. Again, for me, he's more of an MME play. I talked about how he is in my single entry lineup. And he's, littered across my MME as well. But yeah, for cash, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Mixon, ETN, White.
That's a beautiful thing. And as you're talking, I'm kind of building at the same time here. And I started with ETN and Gibbs. Geno Smith is my quarterback. And then I was able to put in Metcalf and the rookie JSN. Again, you can pivot. You can take out Metcalf and put in Lockett for the same lineup. D-Hop is my flex. Trey McBride, who we know we've kind of mentioned in a roundabout way. Rashad White is my flex, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers is my defense at only $4,300, and that lineup fits like a glove. You got $100 left over, and you can do as you please. When we look at the wide receivers this week, again, we've talked about Jamar Chase in length, given his activity in practice or lack thereof because of the scheduled game that's going to kick off in about what are we looking at, 28 minutes? It's 12:32-ish Eastern time. And again, Cincinnati's hosting the Houston Texans. I have Cincinnati to score 31 points in comparison to Houston, looking at around 17 to 21. I would bet 21 would be great, because then you can kind of talk yourself, well, Houston's going to score 3 times. You could throw in Tank Dell's going to score 1, and then you're passing out touchdowns, kind of like I do in the single slate game videos, which I enjoy doing. The Jets are at Vegas tonight. If anybody cares, it's going to be a boring, not good game, but hey, we're still going to cover it here at the six pack. When we look at the wide receivers, I'm going to go completely different than what I said Thursday, because we only have so many minutes in a day, hours in a day here. And we mentioned Washington. I mentioned, Seattle, even, Tennessee to a certain extent. But I haven't talked about guys like Josh Reynolds, or did I talk about Jaden Reed in Green Bay, right? Noah Brown, Jameson Williams here in Detroit. I'll start with Josh Reynolds really quick. And again, on Thursday or even all week, I've had this idea. And again, every week to week is different. Maybe next week it'll be a combo RB, right? But this week there's just certain duos of wide receivers I'm into. And again, the Detroit wide receivers in LA, the Chargers at that new beautiful $1 billion SoFi Stadium, they're 29th overall against opposing wide receivers. And to be fair, golf in the line. This is going to be a very good game. Again, I don't have I have a projection of the game and the total points. I have no guarantees that, I'm not that guy who goes out on a limb to be flashier. I'll go, yeah, they're going to win by 3 touchdowns, or you could lock it in like a morning zoo radio kind of show. But when we look at the Lions and Chargers here, there's going to be points on both sides of the board. So let's start to look at this thing, peel the layers back to Chargers. 29th, as I said, Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams. I know if you're not in the Detroit metro area, you could still go on social media and people are just they put this kid down, Jameson Williams, like he's been caught with a pistol in his waistband, or pistol whipping people like a bad,
Chris. He's been really bad.
I'm aware of that, but at what point do we go, well, you know what? He missed his rookie season, tore up his knee. He was suspended because of sports betting. And when you look at the entirety of things, he has dropped some passes in this past week.
That's the problem right there. Yep.
Exactly. This past week, we've seen people, beat writers share, little videos of what they've been doing at practice. And this kid's running routes and he looks good, but he's still having problems there. But the, local Detroit sports legend Herman Moore kind of came out and he's kind of challenged the Detroit Lions a little bit and said, you need to start using this kid more. I'm challenging the Lions to kind of step up and use him more. So when Herman Moore, a guy like that, I think he's a Detroit Lions Hall of Famer, the Lions are in a position where, you see other teams, stars and studs and Hall of Famers kind of do that stuff. And rarely does it happen in Detroit because they're just not good enough and nobody cares. But I'm thinking that Jameson Williams, they're going to get a little bit more involved and see what they got, because to be fair, Dave, I'm with you. He's been bad and it's now or never. You're kind of halfway through your second season. You're a first round pick. It's now or never, right? And to be fair, up to this point, the Lions have been pretty good on all facets of football, and they haven't needed to use that wild card. Normally, first round pick of the Lions, you got the weight of the franchise on your shoulders, and it's feet to the fire. Whether it's Stafford or Megatron, they were exceptions to the rule. But normally, a team's first round pick is boom right there in your face. We're going to just all the expectations in the world, and you either fold or crumble, feet to the fire, as I said. So to me, I think Jameson Williams gets an extra target or two in this one. What he does with it is beyond me. 4 or 5 targets, 2 to 3 receptions, 40 to 45 yards. Josh Reynolds as well. I don't like Reynolds on FanDuel because of the price tag, but on DraftKings, only 3.8 on DraftKings, $17 on Yahoo. Josh Reynolds is on the field a whole heck of a lot. Hasn't turned it into much, but as long as you're on the field, something is good is bound to happen. So to me, Reynolds 6-1 on FanDuel. That is way too expensive, but on DraftKings, I am all in. And last but not least, the 2 Green Bay kids, right? Watson and Jaden Reed. Watson's kind of along the same tree as Jameson Williams here. Right. They're expected this kid to be, put all this, all these points and stuff up after last year, and he just cannot stay on the field. So to me, get while the getting's good, right? Christian Watson and Jaden Reed are at Pittsburgh. Well, Chris, you said you like the under in this one. Sure. But there's still catches and yardage to be had. And if they are to be had, these 2 guys are going to get each one. So Dave, we're coming up on about 12:36 p.m. Eastern time here in the Metro Detroit area. We have that little combo connection. Any wide receivers you're looking at, are we going to go boom, right? You're just so gung-ho that you want to skip right ahead to the tight ends.
Well, I mean, it pretty much was always going to be Chase or St. Brown for me in cash. Obviously, you've heard me talk about, Chase and how that's going. So St. Brown's locked in. Trenton Irwin, he popped up for me. I talked about him on Friday. Stone Min on, DraftKings with Higgins out, with Chase, at least limited, I think, at $3,000. My God, absolute lock for me. Again, it came down to Tank Dell or McLaurin. I just think that the slight little difference in the rushing floor there, in addition to Nico Collins being out, I had to go there. McLaurin was interesting, though. I think Marquise Brown is an interesting way to go. Jackson Smith and Jigba, we talked about him a little bit. If you want to save some cash, either in cash, even though I don't really like Irwin and Jackson Smith together, I think that's a little too much. You could go there, especially in MME. And then as we've been sitting here talking, as I've been sitting here thinking about things, I have made a change in my cash lineup. I did switch Rachaad White to DeAndre Hopkins. That's kind of what I was just going through it and messing with here right now. So I think that Hopkins' floor is a little bit higher than what I was giving him credit for. I think his floor is pretty much equal to Rachaad White's, but the ceiling is tremendously higher. So I actually feel a lot better about things going there. But just to save time, instead of transitioning to tight end, I'll just go ahead and go. I've been flipping back and forth. Trey McBride, TJ Hawkinson. Beginning of the week, it was, Trey McBride. Like he's the right price. I mean, I'd like to be a little cheaper, but he's the right price pretty much for what I've been doing all year. Kyler Murray's back, no problem. And then I started digging into TJ Hawkinson, and, it really is a combination of not only TJ Hawkinson is a really good receiving tight end, but the Joshua Dobbs effect. And this is what I want to talk about with Hawkinson is, with Dobbs, he was second in the league targeting tight ends when he was with Arizona. So that helped bump up Ertz, and that helped bump up McBride, who I've played a lot in cash. Then he comes over to Minnesota and, first week, last week, targeted Hawkinson 12 times. That's a 41% target share. I think that we'll see something very similar today. I think he's going to target Hawkinson early. I think he's going to target him often. I just needed the cash in cash. I needed the savings. So I did go McBride. I think Hawkinson is still very viable. I do really like him for single entry or MME. I had to go a different route just because the salary doesn't work, but still very interested in Hawkinson. You could go other directions. Like I said, Logan Thomas and Evan Ingram together, double tight end, are both in my single entry. So there's other ways to go, but those are the 2 absolute standouts for me.
And it's a beautiful thought process here. As far as I'm concerned, the tight ends, I just noticed it last night, and bottom of the barrel tight end was published yesterday, and then maybe like an hour or two after I reread everything I write, once it's published too, just to see the layout, make sure, and there's no weirdness or I'm not repeating myself in a way. And I noticed, aside from Mark Andrews, because I give the highest priced player at each position, to put into perspective who else I'm mentioning: Trey McBride, Gerald Everett, Irv Smith Jr., Jawan Johnson, Chig Okay, Connor Hayward, and Daniel Bellinger. All those guys, 7 of them, I have each one of them to score a touchdown, which is wild. And you get to writing and you're excited, and you got, a new James Bond movie on, you're just rolling. You're like, yeah, this guy's going to score a touchdown. He's only going to catch 3 passes for 30 yards, but that's great. That's all you need. I always in my head, that's all you need. We're not looking for 9-10 catches. We're not looking for a Mark Andrews stat line or TJ Hawkinson stat line when we punt the tight end position. 3 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Beautiful. That would be, if you could guarantee me each week that the tight end you pick, three receptions, 30 yards, and a touchdown, he'd be in there every week. Boom, 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 regardless of the price. Of all these tight ends I mentioned, in order of who more likely to score a touchdown, probably Trey McBride versus Atlanta, 24th overall. There, 5-1 on FanDuel. Irv Smith, Houston's 32nd, dead last against tight ends, but I don't know if there's much room or much money to be made. Irv Smith Jr. is probably the most popular kind of punt tight end here, so it'd be a wash in single entry. That's the way I'm thinking. So I'm going to go down to like Daniel Bellinger or Connor Hayward. Bellinger, the Giants are at Dallas. Dallas is going to get ahead and out and open really quickly. They're laying 17 points, as I told you. So, this Danny DeVito kid is going to have to throw the football, right? So to me, what did we talk about on Thursday or every other time we've ever broadcasted together? What's the most, let me grab this real quick. It's like a safety blanket, right? Daniel Bellinger is going to be Danny DeVito's safety blanket at tight end. And when you look at him, 4-7 on FanDuel, only $3,000 on DraftKings, $10 on Yahoo. So in order of importance, McBride, Belly, and then it's wide open after that. So.
Yeah, and then last thing we'll hop into, is defense here. And again, things change for me. It's hard because I have paid up, all the way up for a defense that is just in a, beyond smash spot. I've done it twice. One time, we talked about this on Friday. One time was last year, Cowboys against the Texans. And if I'm not mistaken, they scored 4 points. Cowboys and Texans. Yep, Cowboys end up with 4 points. And basically the same situation that we have here today. I guess the main difference is looks like they were $3,700 at the time. Today they're $4,400. I'm going that direction in cash today. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. If I do it 3 times and all 3 times I get absolutely screwed, then I guess so be it. This is on me. I was on the Cardinals all week long. I still think the Cardinals are a fine play. But man, I've got myself up to the Dallas defense in cash. And then, in my single entry, I paired them with Pollard. I thought Pollard made for a great, larger field kind of play just because of his ceiling. And then I can pair him with the Cowboys, who the defense I don't expect to be like chalk today. I think that price is obviously going to bring them down. They're going to be higher owned than I would like to play. Like I'd said on Friday, if I'm going to play a defense, I like to be unique there, and I like it to be under 5%. I had the salary. I like this lineup a whole bunch, and so I can make it work. I like the correlation with them and Pollard. So that's where I ended up going. Obviously, for defense, you can kind of do whatever you want to. Again, I prefer 5% or less, but I like to get a little bit unique. I think the correlation Pollard and the Cowboys was really interesting for that, single entry lineup.
Yeah, I've made some changes too. I mentioned Tennessee on a whim last week, Thursday. And again, I have no evidence to really realistically back that up because, Tennessee's going to Tampa Bay. The only reason I like Tennessee's defense is because Tampa Bay's defense stinks, right? So that means, a good offense helps the defense, or defense wins championships, whatever you want to do it. I think Tennessee is just able to just throw the ball all day and just move the football. Derrick Henry, right down your throat, and then whoop, D-hop 30 yards with just chunk plays. So to me, Tennessee is still in play, but I've come to really, really like the Saints this week. And when you look at New Orleans, they go to Minnesota, but Minnesota's kind of, they've won 4 games in a row. They're at home. Why would you stack the opposing team there? It's up because last week the Saints, they played well. They looked good against an awful Chicago Bears team. And when you look at the next matchup, Dobbs is their quarterback. He's going to get another week, but is Dobbs this enigma, this fireball of just star power studness where it doesn't matter? And, we talked about NASA retweeting his stuff and everything. I think the Saints have immense value this week in terms of Minnesota kind of feeling a little bit too big for their britches this week. They've won 4 in a row. Dobbs has come out of nowhere. They finally got a quarterback they could try, whatever it is. I think the Saints just go absolutely nuts and kind of show Minnesota, hey, you're okay, but you're not like cream of the crop in the NFC. And the Saints score 24 points. And I'd be shocked if Minnesota scored more than 17. And last but not least, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're Saints and the Steelers, 4-3, $4,200. They're both going to cost you a couple bucks. But when you look at the Steelers against Green Bay, this game is a game of unders, right? You could still, pluck a piece or two offensive skill position wise, but when all is said and done, the Steelers should come out this game victorious. And why? It's because Jordan Love has made some mistakes. He's turned the ball over. I think the Steelers intercept the football. I think they get a fumble recovery. And I think you're looking at, 3 to 4 sacks in this one. So Jordan Love, is he the stud, the king of the North he was expected to be? No. Give me the Steelers to really show out in this one, and we'll go from there. Any last words as we split with about 13 minutes left before lock here, right? 12:47 Eastern time, Dave. Give us a closing segment we can be proud of here.
Well, I mean, it just goes to show that, as valuable as the Friday show is, ultimately it comes down to, what happens in practice on Friday, all the stuff that comes out as we get later into Saturday, and then how things look on Sunday. So as great as the Friday show is, this is really where the rubber meets the road, as we like to say. So I think if you're going to watch any show, this is the one to watch. But the Friday show is important because, like we said, that's the rough draft. This is, the final essay we're turning in.
Absolutely. And I will say before we split, thanks so much. It's one of those things where, when you get sick or you don't feel good, nothing else matters. It's like you can't even look at the TV or computer screen, read without being dizzy. But then after you start to feel better, you're still kind of walking on eggshells because you don't want to, repeat what that nastiness or what happened. I don't want if you're sick or you don't feel good or you're bummed out, don't let that stop you from maybe taking a chance, taking a risk, whether it's, at work in real life, asking a girl out, going here, but don't let that little nodule in your brain go, well, you don't feel good. You don't look the best, whatever it is, just take a chance. And take a chance with some DFS plays this week. Dave and I have had it all lined out sweet for you. Even shout out to Keith Fleming and Alan, everybody here at the Fantasy Six Pack. And before I split and tell you to be safe and goodbye, make sure you get to the website at fantasysixpack.net. You can pick a plethora of premium packages, and we can have Dave and I at your ready and command. You can say jump, and I'll say how high. So we'll see you later. We'll see you then. And be good and be safe. And look forward to the Jets at Vegas. Single game slate video tonight. That one kicks off at 8:20. Not good, Dave, but we're going to cover it. Yeah, we're going to cover it.